for a rebound, is knocked to the floor. Her putback wasn't able to go. So the foul was on Austinson. That'll be her first, team's first. And that'll put Macy Boggs at the free throw line. 48% from the line for Macy. She had 9 points last night, and that included a 3 in the third quarter, the loss to Sydney. Second one on the way. Macy Boggs 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and Gering jumps out to a 5-point lead, 7-2 with 6:24 left. Pressure once again by Gering, broken by Newcastle. Get it outside, and a 3-ball for Mercedes Volker. And Newcastle answers right back, and we've got a 2-point ball game. Quickly the other way comes Gering. Left corner, here's Free. She'll drive baseline to the basket, off the glass and in. Chloe Freeze gets on the board after her 12-point performance last night against Sydney. And Gering leading it by 4. Pressure broken ahead to Austinson, off the glass. It doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Tiedemann, and she couldn't find the handle, and it goes out of bounds, so it'll be Gering's ball. And now Newcastle setting up pressure. The inbounds comes to Aguayo. She'll bring it across up the right side for the Bulldogs. Top of the key, zip pass down low as they try to get inside to Harrison. Pass tipped around, Boggs picks it up, goes into the lane, throws up a shot and misses the mark. Rebound battle for it's loose on the floor, and we've got a whistle and a foul. And the foul was on Macy Boggs, and she picks up her second. That will be the second on Macy Boggs, and about 3 minutes into this game. Newcastle with the ball as Pearson has it in the backcourt. They get it ahead to Tiedemann. She's into the offensive end, drives all the way to the basket, partially blocked by Philbrick, got a hand on it. She pulls down the rebound. Outlet comes to Aguayo, gets it ahead to Boggs on the right side beyond the arc. Boggs, skip pass. Here's Philbrick, right back to Boggs inside the arc. This will be a 2 if it goes. Bounces around, won't go. Battle for the rebound, run down by Freeze. Kick out, Philbrick, 3-ball on the way, in and out. As coming down with the rebound is Cass. Newcastle trailing by 4 ahead. Austinson, underhand to Volker into the corner, inside the arc. Maddie Pearson's jumper doesn't go. And Philbrick comes down with the rebound for Gering. Quickly ahead, Freeze drives left side, off the glass and in. No! As she gets called for the offensive foul. Chloe Freeze driving to the basket commits the offensive foul. That'll be the third team foul on Gering. First foul on Chloe Freeze as Sydney Winkler checks into the Gering lineup. Once again, pressure from Gering. They get it ahead. Cass has it on the right side. On the dribble beyond the arc, down in the corner. She finds Austinson. 3-ball on the way, and it rolls in. Austinson with 5. And it's a 1-point game, 9-8 Gering. Winkler in the backcourt, controlling on the dribble, avoiding the double team ahead to Aguayo. Kira drives right side off the glass and in. Aguayo with 7 points here in this first quarter and traveling. Called on Newcastle as both teams come up the floor. And the turnover will give the ball to Gering as Claire Beestrom checks into the Newcastle lineup, along with Sarah Sweet. Gering with the ball. 3:58 left first quarter, 11-8. Gering on top by 3. Chloe Freeze, cross-court pass. She finds Winkler. Winkler top of the key. She'll turn hand to Philbrick. Looks like a 2-1-2 zone from Newcastle here early in this game. Bounce pass entry down low inside to Freeze. It's stripped away from her, loose on the floor. Picked up by Pearson for Newcastle. She's double teamed. She'll get it ahead to Austinson. Austinson into the court, into the paint, all the way to the glass and up and in. And she's got 7 first quarter points. And Newcastle has cut it to a 1-point game at 11-10, and a timeout taken by Gering head coach Steve Land. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. And remind you, you can listen to the game today, relive it tomorrow on the podcast page at KNEB.com. Brought to you by First State Bank of Scottsbluff and Gering. And for more than 125 years, Wells Fargo Advisors has created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. Call Ryan Windhorst at 632-7561. Together, we will go far. A back and forth game here in this first quarter of this one. We've gone back and forth. Gering has jumped out to a 3-2 lead, only to see Newcastle come right back to cut it to a 1-point ball game here at 11-10. Out of the timeout, Aguayo controlling for Gering as Kelsey Bonsack is checked into the Gering lineup. Winkler on the dribble, looks down low, cutting baseline is Freeze. Her turnaround jumper misses the mark. Outlet pass ahead to Ossenson up the left side, and ball saved from going out of bounds by Taylor Philbrick. She saved it, and then she was out of bounds, and the ball was knocked away. It was coming right to her, and she was out of bounds when she touched the ball the second time. So Newcastle have the ball as Allie Cass checks back into the Newcastle lineup. They will inbound at their offensive end as they work from left to right here in this first half as the inbounds pass comes to Tidyman. She takes it on the dribble, right side, Cass. Beyond the arc, looks at the three, doesn't take it. Into the paint, pass goes through the hands. Loose ball picked up by Tidyman. Drive, kick out, Ossenson, three ball, count it. Ossenson with 10 points here in this first half, and Newcastle takes their first lead of the game at 13-11 with 2:35 left. Gering quickly the other way. Aguayo, the runner, left side, misses the mark. Bonsack with the rebound. And the ball goes out of bounds, and we will have a substitution as Sarah Sweet checks back into the Newcastle lineup. The ball will remain at the Gering end. As Freeze to trigger the inbound, and they come to Winkler. Winkler beyond the arc, left side, right back to Freeze in the paint. Chloe drives right side, throws it up with the right hand, off the glass, too strong. As Cass has it in the backcourt, double team, trying to avoid the pressure. She'll bring it across, take it up the left side for Newcastle to the basket, throws it up, and it goes off the side of the backboard. And it'll go back over to Gering with 2:06 left in the first quarter, 13-11. Newcastle took their first lead of the game at the 2:28 mark. Winkler into the offensive end for Gering. Aguayo gets the pass on the left side, gets a screen from Philbrick. She'll launch from bonus distance. Off the back iron, doesn't go. Winkler there with the rebound, stolen away from her by Tidyman, and she steps on the baseline. And it'll go over to Gering as they will inbound at their offensive end. Aguayo triggers in quickly to Freeze, top of the key. Winkler, three ball, count it, a two. She had a foot on the line. Sydney Winkler with a two, and Gering takes the lead back. We're tied at 13. Newcastle misses the shot at their end. Gering comes down with the rebound. Winkler on the push. Ahead up the right side to Aguayo. Cross-court pass is knocked out of bounds, intended for Philbrick. So keep it at the Gering end with a minute 26 left in the game. Inbounds triggered. Winkler on the dribble. Right side pass, Aguayo on the wing. Top of the key as they work it. They lob down low, find Bonsack cutting to the basket. Her shot blocked, tipped around. Freeze picks it up. Shot doesn't go, but she was fouled on the shot attempt, and she'll go to the line to shoot two as the foul was on Newcastle's Sarah Sweet. That'll be her first, team second. And Chloe Freeze at the free throw line for the second time here in this first quarter, misses the first one. We said she had 18 points last night in the loss to Sydney to lead all Gering scorers. Jalen Austinson back into the Newcastle lineup. A short rest for her. Freeze second free throw. She finds the bottom of that on that one. She's got 3. And Gering takes the lead back with 1:08 yet left. 14-13 as Beestrom travels with the ball at the Newcastle offensive end. And that'll give it back to Gering with 1:05 left here in the first quarter. Bonsack to trigger the inbound in front of the Gering bench. Inbounds comes to Aguayo, gets it ahead to Chloe Freeze. Freeze into the paint, kick left side. Philbrick goes down low. Winkler, she can't do anything with it. Back outside to Aguayo. She drives right side. The runner doesn't go, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2 as she was fouled on the way to the basket. As Austinson commits the personal foul, and she'll pick up her second, team's third, as Kiera Aguayo, who struggled a little bit last night, as she ended up with only 3 points against Sydney. Misses the first one, she'll get 1 more. She comes into tonight's action shooting 58% from the free throw line. Second one on the way from Kiera. She's good on that one, and she's got 8 points here in this first quarter. And Gering on top by 2. 50 seconds left first quarter, and a foul as the teams come up court as Bonsack runs over a Newcastle player, and Kelsey picks up her first personal foul, and the ball will be inbounded at the Newcastle offensive end with 47 seconds left. Pearson looking, she'll throw it in backcourt and find Cass. She'll be picked up right there as Philbrick is screen as Tiedemann came out to set the screen. But the foul goes on Philbrick, and she'll pick up her first personal. Newcastle inbounds quickly into Cass, and then it's stripped away from her by Aguayo. But Philbrick ran into the screen and knocked the player over, and she was called for the foul. So Newcastle will inbound in front of the Gering bench in the near sideline. Cass gets it in quickly to Tiedemann. She'll bring it from right to left on the dribble, drive into the paint, throw up a shot, off the glass and in. And Tiedemann gets into the book, and we're tied at 15. 29 seconds left. Aguayo on the dribble, right side, outside. Takes it in the corner to Philbrick. Inside they go to Freeze. Low block, right side. Nothing doing. Kick back out to Philbrick. 3 ball off the glass. Bonsack with the rebound. They work it around quickly. Back to Aguayo into the corner. Freeze on the right side. Chloe can't do anything with it. To Aguayo. Drives right side. The runner misses the mark. Body's on the floor. Gering gets the rebound. Kick out back to Freeze. 3 ball. Count it at the buzzer. And Chloe Freeze ends up the first quarter. And after one, Gering leads Newcastle 18-15 on the West Coast scoreboard.
We can't unsend your email.
.93.3 KMOR.
Well, welcome back to Gering High School, and this is Jeff Kelly in the Logos broadcast booth, stopping the logos, and the guys will custom design it, print it, and have it ready for the game. There's no job too big or too small for Logos in downtown Gering. Chloe Freeze with a 3 ball to end the first quarter and give Gering a 3-point lead as we start the second quarter. Newcastle moving left to right. They've got the ball to start this second 8 minutes. Pearson has it. And a 3-second call as Cass in the lane just a little bit too long for the Newcastle Doggies. So Gering will have it as it's Emily Harrison, Boggs, Aguayo, Freeze, and Philbrick on the floor for Gering. Macy Boggs on the dribble right side gives it up to Kiera. Skip pass. Here's Philbrick as they work it around the outside of the arc against this Newcastle zone. Boggs with it, left side, drives into the paint. Shot off the mark. Philbrick with the rebound. Her put back too strong. Cass comes down with the rebound for Newcastle. Long down court pass. That's intercepted by Philbrick as Ossenson tried to get it ahead to Tidyman. Now Gering has it, leading by 3. Quickly around the arc from right to left. Into the hands of Macy Boggs as she and Kiera Aguayo play catch with it out front. 2-1-2 zone by Newcastle. Aguayo with it. Gering patient, trying to get off a shot as Freeze drives left side to the basket. Shot doesn't go, but Chloe draws the foul. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2. So Chloe Freeze at the line for the 3rd time here in this first half. Claire Beestrom with the offensive foul, or with the foul, I should say, her first, team's first. And Chloe Freeze expands the Gering lead to 4 at 19-15 here. In for Newcastle is Mercedes Volker, a 5'6" junior. And Freeze trying to make it a 5-point Gering lead. And she does as she hits both of those. She's got 8 points here in the first half. And Gering with a 5-point lead. Pressure once again by Gering as they get it ahead to Cass, to Ossenson, to Volker. And Volker lays it up and in. As Newcastle answers right back. Aguayo drives right side. Layup misses the mark. Cass comes down with the rebound. Gets it ahead to Ossenson up the left side. She'll bounce it. Here's Volker down low inside to Pearson, and Pearson fouled on her shot attempt. As the foul was on Gering's Emily Harrison, that will be the first on her. And the 6th team foul on Gering. As Pearson at the free throw line. 33% for her this season. She's 1 out of 3. Misses the first one. She'll get a second one. Gering looking to break a 9-game losing streak. The last win came against Mitchell right here at Gering High School back on December 12th. Second free throw off the back iron. Ossenson comes down with the rebound, stripped away by Chloe Freeze. Gering has it. Get it ahead to Philbrick. Boggs into the Gering offensive end. Gering right to left. Ahead to Aguayo, 3-ball, too strong. Rebound tipped around. Boggs, rebound put back. Macy Boggs with 4 points in the game. 22-17 Gering. Tidyman driving off the glass, too strong. Rebound tipped around. Tidyman runs it down, gets it to Cass. Cass drives to the basket, loses the handle. Rebound still loose, ball loose on the floor. Finally Aguayo picks it up and she's double teamed in the corner. And a held ball, and the possession arrow gives the ball to Gering. 5:50 left in the first half, 22-17 as Macy Boggs having to insert a contact back into her eye. As Gering has the ball, Boggs with it in the offensive end for Gering, takes it into the corner right side on the dribble, looking, finds Aguayo. Aguayo cut off. Out on top, Philbrick quickly to Freeze. Ball fake. Chloe drives left side off the glass, up and in. Chloe Freeze, a great first quarter as she's got 10, and Gering leads it by 7 here. As Cass has the ball, almost loses it. She'll get it ahead to Tidyman, to Ossenson. Bounce pass down low. Volker on her way to the basket. And she's fouled hard by Taylor Philbrick on her way to the basket. And that'll put Mercedes Volker at the line. 7th team foul on Gering. So Newcastle in the bonus for this final 5:19 of the first half. And the first one up and good by Volker. (24-18) as Carly Pazanka checks into the Gering lineup for Taylor Philbrick. Second one on the way. Volker misses on that one. Pazanka comes down with the rebound for Gering. Also into the Gering lineup is the freshman Maddie Seiler. Seiler has it on the dribble, left side, takes the free throw line, dumps it off to Freeze. Freeze into the paint, puts it up with the right hand and puts it in. And Chloe Freeze with a dozen points here in this first half. And Gering leads it 26-18. Ball stolen away by Gering. Aguayo comes the other way for the Bulldogs with 4:54 left in the first quarter. Seiler on the dribble, bounce, high post to Freeze. Starts a drive, she's cut off, and a 3-second call on Gering as Carly Pazanka in the lane just a little bit too long. So that'll give the ball back to Newcastle as Gering sets up 1-3-1, full court pressure. Cass has it, gets it ahead. Tiedemann in the offensive end to Beestrom. Looks down low to Volker. Her shot blocked. She saves from going out of bounds, or thought she did, but officials say it went out of bounds, so it'll go over to Gering. And Macy Boggs back into the Gering lineup for Kiera Aguayo. 4.5 minutes left first half, 26-18, Gering on top. As Seiler drives into the paint, loose the handle, loose ball picked up by Konzelman for Newcastle. Gives it up to Volker. There's Tiedemann with it. She'll find Beestrom as they work it around the outside of the arc. Cass brings it out between the circles, looks down low, Tiedemann in the paint, puts it up with the right hand, air ball picked up by Maddie Seiler. Quickly up the left side goes the freshman. Takes it, pass left side, and it was tipped away, went off the hands of Emily Harrison. And the turnover gives the ball to Newcastle as Ossenson checks back into the Newcastle lineup. 10 first quarter points for her. She's been held scoreless so far in this second quarter. Tiedemann will walk it into the offensive end for Newcastle. To Cass on the right side. Now she takes the left side and shuffles her feet as she starts a drive to the basket. And another turnover for Newcastle. That'll give it right back to Gering. Trying to increase this 8-point lead. Here's Seiler into the front court. Left side, drives, goes to the basket, puts it up with the left hand and puts it in. Maddie Seiler with her first 2 points of the game. And Gering on top by 10. And a timeout on the floor taken by Newcastle. 28-18, Gering on top on the West Coast scoreboard. And back here at Gering High School, 3:27 left in the first half. Gering on top by 10. Newcastle has the ball out of the timeout. Ossenson has it in the front court. for Newcastle. They work it around the outside of the arc to Pearson. Here's Tiedemann directing traffic. Left side pass. Pearson inside. They go to Sweet. Nothing there. She'll kick it back to Pearson. Bounce out on top for Tiedemann. Finally find Ossenson at the free throw line. Ball tipped away from her. Picked up by Newcastle. As Cass drives right side. She's cut off there by Philbrick. Inside to Sweet. Double team. Back outside Cass. 3-ball in and out. Doesn't go. Macy Boggs comes down with the rebound for Gering, leading by 10 here. 2:40 left first half. Boggs, the right side. Now she'll pull it out beyond the arc with the left-handed dribble. Turn, hand to Maddie Seiler. Seiler baseline, tosses back out. Boggs drives, comes up just a little bit short. Rebound and a held ball. And the possession arrow pointing Newcastle's way. So the ball will go to Newcastle as Kelsey Bonsack checks into the Gering lineup. And Kiera Guayo will check in. Chloe Freeze will get a rest for Gering. Freeze with 12 points here in this first half to this point. Pressure by Gering. Tiedemann gets it ahead. Cass into the offensive end for Newcastle on the dribble left side. And the ball knocked away. Philbrick has it. Gets it ahead. Seiler and a pass too low for Maddie to handle. They had a 2-on-1 break going Gering's way. But the pass at the ankles of Maddie Seiler. And a scoring opportunity for Gering goes awry. So Newcastle has the ball facing Gering pressure. Tiedemann with it in the backcourt on the dribble. Gets it ahead. Sweet. Right side her pass tipped away. Aguayo picks up the loose ball. And then Aguayo fouled by Sweet. And the foul on Sweet will be her second. Only the 5th team foul on Newcastle. So Gering will have it as we near the 2-minute mark here in this first half. Inbounds, triggered in backcourt. Maddie Seiler will walk it into the front court for Gering, leading by 10. Try to go high post to Bonsack. And a held ball, keep it at the Gering end. Maddie Seiler, just a freshman, playing with that knee brace on that left knee. Injured that knee in the first game of the season. She was in with 12 seconds left and suffered that injury. Came back during the GNAC tournament. She's got the ball right now. Drives right side, nice bounce pass to Bonsack, and Kelsey lays it up and in. And Kelsey gets on the board. It's 30-18. Gering by a dozen. A minute and a half left. Pressure now by Gering. And Aguayo committing the foul as she fouls Allie Cass in the backcourt. So that will be the 8th team foul on Gering. So Newcastle will be shooting free throws. Allie Cass only 43% from the season so far. First one on the way. Misses the front end. Battles for the rebound. Follows up her shot. She gets it to Ossenson. Back to Cass. And a 3-ball on the way. Too strong by Volker. And the rebound goes out of bounds. It'll be Gering's ball with a minute 24 left here in the first quarter. Or first half, I should say. Gering on top, 30-18. Beestrom back into the Doggies lineup as Gering comfortably on top by a dozen. Seiler into the front court, loses the handle for just a minute, now regains up the right side. Kick out Aguayo, 3-ball, back iron, high rebound off the back of the backboard. Rebound comes down to Cass. She's got it for Newcastle. Pearson ahead, they get it to Beestrom. Kick out, back out on top, and a 3-ball by Allie Cass. Her first points of the game. 30-21. Gering by 9. Count it down, 46 seconds left first half. Right side pass here, Seiler. She'll measure for 3. Off the side iron. Long rebound. Run down by Pearson. She picks it up. Gets it ahead to Tiedemann and almost stolen away from behind. Carly Pazanka right there, but she couldn't find the handle. and it'll remain at the Newcastle end with 32 seconds left. Chloe Freeze back into the Gering lineup as Jalen Austinson checks back in with a piece of Kleenex in her right nostril. She must have caught one in the nose before she went out the previous time, and palming called on Newcastle, on Pearson. Another turnover for Gering and a chance to make this lead more than 9 with 29 seconds left. Aguayo in the backcourt for Gering. On the dribble, brings it front court, now on the right-handed dribble to the right side. Looks, cross-court pass, here's Freeze with it. Freeze into the paint, spin, ball loose the handle, loose ball picked up by Newcastle. They'll get it ahead to Pearson. Here's Cass with it. Cass on the dribble, top of the key, into the paint, weaving through defenders, and she's fouled on her way to the basket. And that'll put Allie Cass at the free throw line. And Kiera Aguayo, the guilty party on the foul, picks up her second, 9th team foul on Gering with 5 seconds left here in the first half. And Cass drains the first one. Make it 30-22, 5 seconds left. Second one on the way from Cass. That's off the back iron. Rebound comes down to Philbrick. Outlet to Aguayo. She chucks it down at the other end. And I think she thought she had less time than she did, as that was about a 3/4 court heave for Kiera Aguayo there. And still 7/10 of a second as Tiedemann chucks it at the basket at the buzzer. It's off the backboard, and that'll end the first half here from Gering High School. We're at halftime. And your score, Gering 30, Newcastle 22 on the West Coast scoreboard.
You have enough to worry about. Meetings, clients, employees.
Welcome back to Gering High School. We're at halftime, and Gering on top, 30-22 is your score here at halftime. And Gering led 18-15 at the end of the first quarter. Newcastle trailed most of that first quarter until they took their first lead at 13-11 with 2 minutes 28 seconds left in the first quarter. And as we said, Gering led 18-15 at the end of 3 as Chloe Freeze, with the game tied at 15, hit a 3 at the buzzer to end the first half, or the first quarter I should say, and Gering led it by 8. And into the second quarter, Gering opened up a lead of 26-21 and have been able to expand that lead to 30-22 here at halftime. So Gering leading by 8 here at halftime over Newcastle. Stay with us. We'll have the boys game that will follow this one, and coming to you this afternoon on KMOR 93.3 and on KMORFM.com. Halftime here at Gering High School. It's Gering 30, Newcastle 22 on the West Coast scoreboard.
We're back tonight on the Platte Valley Company's
CPAs and management.
Jeff Kelly back here at Gering High School, the first game of our doubleheader here this afternoon, as Gering at halftime of the girls game leading it 30-22. Well, it's time to look at the numbers, brought to you by Arby's, the meat crafters throughout western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. First off, for Newcastle, they were led in scoring in the first half by the 5'10 freshman Jalen Ostenson, as she had 10 points in the first quarter. She was held scoreless in the second quarter, but she has 10 here at halftime. 6 points for Mercedes Volkler at the break, Allie Cass with 4, and Shelby Tiedemann with 2 points for Newcastle. On the Gering side of the board, Chloe Freeze leading the way at halftime. She has 12 at the halftime break, 6 in each half, or in each quarter, I should say, for Chloe Freeze, and she is well on her way to a third straight double figures game. She had 18 last night against Sydney. She had 16 in the win, or the loss, I should say, to McCook back in the GNAC tournament. She has 12 points here at halftime. 8 points at halftime for Kiera Aguayo, 4 points for Macy Boggs at the half, and Maddie Seiler, Sydney Winkler, and Kelsey Bonsack each contributing 2 points apiece for Gering here at halftime, as Gering trying to break a 9-game losing streak. They come into this afternoon's action with an overall record of 2-11. We'll come back with more here at halftime, where your score is Gering 30, Newcastle 22 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back here at Gering High School at halftime of the girls game. Gering on top 30-22. That led 18-15 at the end of the first quarter, as Chloe Freeze hit a 3 at the buzzer to give Gering that lead at the end of the first quarter. So Gering outscoring Newcastle by a count of 12-7 in that second quarter, and they lead it here by 8 at halftime. We'll have the boys game following this one, as the Gering boys came off a big win last night down in Sydney, Nebraska, in a game that really Gering boys jumped on Sydney early and never really looked back, as Gering won it 70-37. And it was the least amount of points that Gering had held an opponent to so far this season in their now 3 wins on the season. So they hold Sydney to 37 points as they get the win 70-37 last night in Sydney. And they want to try and keep their streak going. We'll see what they can do against the Newcastle boys, who come in with a record of 1-4 on the year. Both teams back out on the court. We're about 2 minutes away from the start of the second half here from Gering High School, where your score is Gering 30, Newcastle 22 on the West Coast scoreboard. Welcome back to Gering High School as we're getting ready for the start of this second half here from Gering, and the Gering girls leading at 30-22 here at halftime. Some other action today in boys basketball at the half. The Mitchell Tigers leading Shadron 34-19 is the score there. Some other games that'll be coming up later tonight. Chase County taking on Kimball. Alliance will take on Cheyenne East, and Hay Springs and Layton will match up in boys basketball later today. And on the girls side, also on the boys side, Sydney will be taking on McCook in McCook. On the girls side, at the half, Sydney leading the McCook girls 34-20. Other games that will come up later, Hershey and Bridgeport, along with Potter Dix and South Platte and Gordon Rushville and Bayard. Officials just a little bit late coming back out on the floor. So both teams awaiting their arrival, and we're going to get things back to action here. Start this second half is Gering on top, 30-22, and Newcastle will have the ball to start this second half as they will move from right to left here in this second half. Set the lineup for you here in just a minute as Tidyman on the handoff to Ossenson. Right side pass, Volker, three ball, too strong. Rebound fought for. Philbrick comes down with it for Gering. The outlet to Aguayo, right back to Philbrick. Or check that, that's Harrison. Harrison tries to kick it out, intercepted by Tidyman. Ahead to Volker, back to Tidyman, drives left side. Layup doesn't go. Ossenson and Aguayo tie it up, and the possession arrow pointing Gering's way. Start things off here in this third quarter. So Gering will have Harrison along with Boggs, Aguayo, Philbrick, and Freeze on the floor here. As Aguayo controls out front, cross-court pass, Boggs takes it left side on the wing to Philbrick. Pass intended for Boggs, intercepted by Ali Cass. And Newcastle has it. Here's Ossenson on the left side, goes into the paint, puts it up with the right hand. That won't bounce in. Rebound battle for as Tidyman goes to the floor, along with Macy Boggs. They'll say it was last touched by Gering, so it'll stay at the Newcastle end as they lob it inside to Ossenson. She can't score it. Rebound comes down to Volker. Newcastle still has it. Tidyman, they work it over to the right side. Cass has it inside to Ossenson, right side. Looks double team, now triple team. Back to Volker on the right side in the corner to Tidyman inside. Pass intended for Cass, intercepted by Boggs. Ahead to Freeze. Freeze has it stripped away. Loose ball picked up. Macy Boggs with a three ball, too strong. Aguayo battling for a rebound. And she goes to the floor as Tidyman came in there to try and steal that away. Both players up in the air, and both went to the floor. As the foul on Shelby Tidyman, she'll pick up her first. And Newcastle will inbound the ball. Checking in, Hunter McFarland for the first time this afternoon for Newcastle. On the inbounds, Gering gets in to work it out on top to Boggs. Boggs right side pass Aguayo. She'll pull it out beyond the arc. Good defense by Newcastle as Philbrick gets it back to Aguayo as it bounces off one of the officials. High post pass intended for Freeze off her knee, and a held ball that'll keep it at the Gering end. 6:19 in the third quarter, 30-22. Still waiting for our first points here in this third quarter. Inbounds pass comes to Boggs on the dribble left side. Now takes it top of the key, works it right side. Tried to pull up jumper, nothing there. She'll give it off to Freeze. Chloe cut off. Gering continues to work for a shot. Now Aguayo driving right side. The runner doesn't go, but Tierra draws the foul, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. As Kiera with only 8 points in the first half at the line to shoot two. Kiera's first one, that one up and good. And the first points here in this third quarter come almost 2 minutes in, as Tidyman checks back into the Newcastle lineup for McFarland. Second free throw on the way from Aguayo, too strong, rebound run down, kick out Macy Boggs, 3 ball on the way, too strong. Aguayo comes down with the rebound, tries to kick it out, loose on the floor. She tried to get it to Freeze, and the possession arrow will give it to Newcastle here with 5 minutes, 53 seconds left in the third quarter, 31-22. Gering leads. Only 1 point scored in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter. Tidyman has it, finds Pearson on the right wing. Inside to Cass, and Cass starts a drive, and she shovels her feet, and that turns it over back to Gering. So Gering will inbound far sideline as they work left to right here in this second half. Pressure by Newcastle, they get it into Macy Boggs. Boggs on the dribble against Pearson up the right side. To Philbrick, down low to Aguayo, cutting to the basket, 2 for under. She'll kick it out to Boggs. Boggs, Philbrick, top of the key, 3, count it. Count it for Taylor Philbrick, her first points of the game. And Gering leads it by 12, 34-22. Newcastle turns it over at their offensive end. So Gering will have a chance to expand on this lead. Token pressure by Newcastle as they get it in. Macy Boggs at the center circle now, brings it into the front court. Finds Harrison to Aguayo, top of the key, picked up there by Tidyman. Right side pass, pull up jumper from Boggs. Comes up just a little bit short as Cass comes down with the rebound, and she's fouled as both teams come up the floor. And will give the ball to Newcastle as the foul was on Emily Harrison. She picks up her third personal. First team foul on Gering. Newcastle with the ball, trailing 34-22, stolen away by Freeze. Freeze on the run out to the basket, layup up and good. Freeze with 14 points. Gering 36-22. Newcastle gets it ahead. Cass on the right side, looking, fires it to Tidyman. She can't do anything with it. Back to Cass in the corner. Austinson 3 ball off the mark. Rebound comes down. Freeze. Freeze on the speed dribble all the way to the basket, and Chloe Freeze back-to-back basket. She's got 16. Gering leads it 38-22, and a timeout on the floor taken by Newcastle, a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here from Gering High School. Well, Monument Physical Therapy can keep you in the game. They offer the Bumps and Bruises program, 1 free consultation and 1 free follow-up for all area athletes. Monument Physical Therapy in Gering and Morrill. And Melissa Float, your local American National Insurance agent, offers auto, home, life, business, and farm and ranch insurance. See Melissa Float for all of your insurance needs. As Kelsey Bonsack checks into the Gering lineup. And for the first time here in this third quarter. And Newcastle will inbound the ball. Tidyman has it, gets it ahead to Cass in the offensive end. She'll hand it back to Tidyman. It's loose on the floor, picked up by Bonsack. To Freeze. Aguayo to the basket, off the glass and in for Kiera Aguayo. And Gering has jumped out to an 18-point lead. Stolen away once again on the run out. Aguayo, the reverse layup off the mark as Volker fouled on the rebound as both teams came up the floor. And Aguayo picks up the foul, and she's got 4 now in the game. Her 4th personal foul. And that'll bring Shelby Winkler off the Gering bench. And Kiera will sit down with those 4 personal fouls. So 4 personal fouls, only the 2nd team foul on Gering. Newcastle with the ball. Gering with pressure. Broken by Newcastle. Volker with a three off the mark. Rebound comes down to Beestrom. She'll kick it out to Pearson. To Tidyman. The one-hander inside the paint. Off the mark. Rebound tipped around. Loose on the floor. Picked up and given down low to Austinson. Her shot misses the mark, but she was fouled. And she will go to the line to shoot two. Macy Boggs on the foul. And that will be the third on Macy. As Austinson at the free throw line drains the first one. That's her first points since the first quarter. Second one on the way. That one rattles in. And Austinson with 12 points. 40-24. Quickly up the floor. Gering gets freeze too far under. And loose ball picked up by Newcastle. They come the other way. Here's Austinson with it. The Tidyman on the right side. Try to get it to Austinson. Cutting to the basket. Tipped around as Philbrick picks up the loose ball all the way to the basket. Taylor Philbrick lays it up and in. She's got 5 points here in this third quarter alone, and Gering leads it 40-24. Pass tipped up in the air, and the held ball. The possession arrow will give the ball to Gering. With 3:16 left in the third quarter. Pressure set up by Newcastle. Philbrick triggers the inbound to Boggs. She'll bring it into the across the timeline for Gering. Takes it between the circles, gives it off to Winkler. Winkler looking, picks up her dribble. Now they get in the right side to Macy Boggs. Back to Winkler, she'll pull it out, get a screen, take it left side, look down low, looking for Bonsack. And then Bonsack and Sweet tie it up. And the possession arrow will give the ball to Newcastle with 2:56 left in the third quarter, 42-24. Gering leads it. Pressure by Gering. Austinson has it. Gets it ahead to Tidyman up the left side. Back to Austinson, top of the key. She's got it on the dribble, looking. Now she'll fire it to the left side to Beestrom. Pass intercepted on the run out. Chloe Freeze on the run out, but she's fouled on the layup attempt, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. This Gering pressure giving Newcastle a lot of problems and a lot of steals and turnovers, which is what you want from the pressure defense. As Chloe Freeze, only 47% from the line so far this season, drains the first one. Chloe Freeze, our Taco John's player of the game last night with her 18 points in the win over Sydney. 2:41 left in the third quarter, 43-24. Second one on the way. Chloe's off on that one as Konzelman runs down the loose rebound for Gering. She'll give it up to Tidyman for Newcastle as they trail it 43-24. Tidyman with it. Top of the key. Looks right side to Volker as they play catch with it. Or check that to Konzelman. They try to go inside to Austinson and a jump ball. And that will give it back to Gering with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Carly Pazanka off the Gering bench. And for Kelsey Bonsack. Pressure from Newcastle. Winkler has it in the backcourt, gets it ahead to Maddie Seiler, who's checked into the game. Seiler will bring it between the circles. On the dribble, picked up there by Tidyman. One-hand pass left side, Winkler for three, off the mark. Rebound comes down to Austinson, gets it ahead to Tidyman. Tidyman up the left side, pull-up jumper, too strong. Sweet has the rebound, kick out to Konzelman. She has to run it down now, she controls it. On the dribble, right side for Konzelman, high post. Here's Austinson, bounce inside to Sweet in the paint, ball knocked away from her. Three ball on the way from Konzelman off the mark. She runs down her own rebound, gets it inside to Sweet. Sweet against Pazanka. And the foul down low will send Sarah Sweet to the free throw line. And Carly Pazanka picks up her first personal foul, 4th team foul on Gering with 1:33 left in the third quarter, 43-24. Gering on top. Sweet's first free throw from the 5'5" senior is up and good. Her first points here in the contest. Sweet awaits second free throw. That one off the mark. Rebound fought for, pulled down by Newcastle. They control. Baseline jumper comes up short from Konzelman, and ball knocked around and a foul called at the Newcastle end. And that'll put Sarah Sweet back at the line. And the foul on Gering's Taylor Philbrick. She'll pick up her third, and that's the 5th team foul on Gering. As Sweet off on the first one. Gering with some foul trouble last night as Chloe Freeze fouled out of the game. Better check that. Macy Boggs fouled out of the game with 1:24 left. Kiara Aguayo with 3 fouls. Emily Harrison with 3. But Gering with the loss. As Sweet off on the free throw, 43-24. Gering with the ball as we count it down in the third quarter. Winkler drives right side, cut off, gives it up to Seiler. Seiler quickly to Briley Dean, who's in the game. Briley's shot comes up short from the right side. Outlet pass comes to Pearson. Pearson is hounded by Winkler, and Winkler's knocked to the floor. They're going to call the foul on Sydney Winkler, and that'll be the first on Sydney. That'll be the 6th team foul on Gering, as Austinson checks back into the Newcastle lineup for Madison Pearson. Counted down, 56 seconds, third quarter. Here's Tidyman on the dribble, left side. Picks up a dribble into the corner to Cass. Back to Austinson on the left side, picked up there by Philbrick. Back to Tidyman, left side. She'll throw up an off-balance shot that misses badly. And Philbrick comes down with the rebound, 38 seconds left. Ahead to Maddie Seiler. Winkler takes it to the free throw line. Kick out back to Philbrick. She'll take it in the corner now, drive in right side, lob it inside. Carly Pazanka right there. Pazanka can't make the layup, but she's fouled on the shot. As Sweet commits the personal foul. And Carly Pazanka at the free throw line drains the first one. To make it 44-25. As Hunter McFarland checks in for Newcastle. Shelby Tidyman will sit down. And Carly Pazanka 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 45-25. Gering with a 20-point lead. Newcastle with the ball with 15 seconds left here in the third quarter. McFarland on the right side, nothing there. Outside to Cass. Cass takes into the paint, puts it up the left hand, rolls around and falls in for Cass. She's got 6, and that will end the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's Gering 45, Newcastle 27 on the West Coast scoreboard. break for the fourth quarter here from Gering High School, and the Gering girls on top 45-27. As we go to the fourth and final quarter, as it's Boggs, Freeze, Aguayo, Philbrick, and Harrison, the five on the floor for Gering to start this final 8 minutes. Newcastle with the ball. Austinson on the dribble, gives it up to Konzelman. Her three won't roll in. Gering comes down with the rebound on the run. Aguayo to the basket, the scoop with the right hand for Kiera Aguayo, and she's got 13, and Gering leads it by 20 for the second time here in this second half. Shot off by Newcastle. Gering quickly the other way. Macy Boggs has it. She'll give it up to Kiera Aguayo on the dribble. She pulls it out by the 10-second line. Pass to Boggs on the right wing. She gets a screen from Aguayo, nothing doing. Back to Chloe Freeze. Philbrick tries to bounce inside, and the ball loose on the floor as Konzelman tied up, and the possession arrow keeps it at the Gering end. And substitutions on the Newcastle side. Volker into the contest. Gering triggers the inbounds. There's Aguayo with it on the right side beyond the arc. As Philbrick cutting to the basket, pass goes off her hands. Picked up by Volkelman. Ahead Pearson has it on the left side. Cross-court pass, nobody there. Is not sure if that was intended for Konzelman or for Allie Cass. But the ball thrown away, and it'll give it back to Gering. 6:54 left in the game. Gering by 20, 47-27. Kerr on the right side. Work at top of the key. Here's Freeze with it, looking down low. To Philbrick, to Aguayo, puts it up on the jump hook with the right hand, misses the mark. Allie Cass comes down with the rebound for Newcastle in the black uniforms with the white letters and numbers. Up the left side, still on the dribble. Quickly they get it to Austinson. Back to Tidyman, working around the outside of the arc. Cass with it on the dribble. Gering in a 1-3-1 zone. Here's Cass into the paint. Drops it off for Volker. Goes baseline inside to Cass, and Cass lays it up and in. She's got 8. 47-29 Gering. Freeze drives left side. Shot goes off the bottom of the backboard. Rebound tipped around as Aguayo tried to run it down far sideline and tried to avoid it. Couldn't do so. And that'll give it back to Newcastle. And Austinson has been in and out of this game at numerous times here tonight. Went out earlier in the first half with a bloody nose. She's been in and out throughout this contest. Tidyman with a three ball from the top of the key that finds the bottom of the net. She's got 5. On the run out the other way, Philbrick on the layup, misses the mark. Newcastle comes down with the rebound. Austinson up the left side. She'll hand it to Tidyman. Tidyman top of the key. They work it to Cass on the right side. Another three ball, too strong. And Austinson loses the handle on the rebound. Freeze picks it up, outlet pass. Aguayo controls it. Tries to get it ahead, and an off-balance pass to Philbrick, intercepted by Newcastle's. Cass is fouled as she comes up the floor. And the foul was on Gering's Emily Harrison. 7th team foul on Gering as Kelsey Bonsack comes in, and that'll be the second foul on Emily Harrison here this afternoon, as Allie Cass shooting 43% from the free throw line, drains the first one. Make it 47-33. She'll get a second one, so we near the 5-minute mark here in this girls game. Second one on the way, up and good. Cass with 10 and a timeout on the floor. 47-34 is your score here from Gering High School. and we're going to take a break. You're listening to high school basketball on KMR 93.3. 47-34, Gering leads it on the West Coast scoreboard. Back here at Gering High School out of the timeout. Kelsey Bonsack travels with the ball on the inbounds play against Newcastle pressure. So turn it back to Newcastle. 5 minutes left here in the game. 47-34. Gering on top as Newcastle's Shelby Tiedemann has it. They'll work it to the right side to Konzelman. Takes it into the paint. Turnaround jumper. Back iron. Boggs comes down with the rebound for Gering. Gets it ahead to Chloe Freeze. Freeze takes it into the paint. Kick it to the left side for Philbrick. Her jumper will fall in. And Philbrick with 7. For Gering, 49-34, as Allie Cass answers back for Newcastle with a 3 of her own. Make it 43-37, stolen away on the inbounds. They look inside to get it to Cass, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay at the Newcastle end. Sarah Sweet checking into the Newcastle lineup for Konzelman. Quickly inbound, Cass, that partially blocked by Chloe Freeze, who came flying in there. But it goes out of bounds. It'll stay at the Newcastle end with 4 minutes, 11 seconds left in the game. Tiedemann lobs it to Ossenson inside the paint, left side, splits defenders, puts up a shot off the mark. Out of bounds, and give it to Gering with 4:06 left here in the game. Full court pressure by Newcastle, and it's knocked out of bounds as Macy Boggs was double teamed. Gering will inbound far sideline in the backcourt. Get it quickly into Bonsack. To Aguayo. Aguayo remaining in the backcourt. Now they throw it ahead to Boggs. Boggs drives left side, dumps down low, trying to go inside to Freeze, and Freeze is fouled prior to the shot. And she will go to the free throw line, or check that. They will inbound, only the 5th team foul on Newcastle, as Sarah Sweet with her 4th personal foul. The inbounds comes to Macy. She's fouled on the shot, and that will put her at the line, as Allie Cass with the foul. And Macy Boggs with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. First free throw up off the back iron. Substitution on the Newcastle side as Sarah Sweet goes out. Mercedes Volker checks in for the Newcastle Doggies. Boggs' second free throw, back iron, long rebound. Macy tries to run it down, and she was the last to touch it as it went out of bounds. That'll give it back to Newcastle with 3:47 left in the game. 49-37. Gering on top. They've led from the end of the first quarter at 18-15. Tiedemann on the dribble out front, picked up there by Philbrick to Volkelman. 3 ball comes up short on the run. Here's Aguayo with it all the way to the basket. Shot doesn't go. Rebound fought for by Philbrick. Now it's loose on the floor and a timeout called by head coach Steve Land, a 30-second timeout. So we will keep it right here from Gering High School. Stay with us. We will have our post-game show on the girls' side, and we will look at the numbers, final numbers brought to you by Arby's, and we will name our Taco John's player of the game for the girls' game, and we will set you up for the boys' game between these two teams that will follow this girls' game. As the Gering boys coming off a big win last night down in Sydney, holding Sydney to only 37 points. They get the 70-37 win. Out of the 30-second timeout. Gering will inbound underneath their own basket. So they work from left to right here in this second half. Chloe Freeze will toss it in for Gering. Looking, she'll find Boggs. Boggs in the paint to the basket, puts it up, comes up short. As Pearson comes down with the rebound for Newcastle. Outlet, Austinson up the right side, goes behind her back now, takes it between the circles. Right side pass, Volker to Pearson, kick out. They work it back around to Austinson. She drives into the paint, shot off the glass, but the foul came prior to the shot. Chloe Freeze commits the personal foul, and the 8th team foul on Gering. And that will put Jalen Austinson, who had 10 points in the first quarter. She was held scoreless in the second quarter, only has 2 points, only had 2 points in the third quarter. And her first free throw on the front end misses badly. And Gering comes down with the rebound with 3 minutes left in the game. Pressure broken by Gering. They get it ahead to Freeze. Freeze with the runner off the right side. And Chloe Freeze with 19 points in the game. Gering 51-37, 2:45 left in the game. Cass on the dribble. Gives it up to Pearson. Picked up there by Aguayo. They'll try to bounce in the corner to find Volker. Pass to Pearson, knocked around, and a whistle and a foul called as Philbrick went to the floor on that one. So we'll keep it at the Newcastle end. Foul was on Taylor Philbrick. That'll be the 4th on Taylor. And the 1-and-1 for Madison Pearson. Pearson's first free throw opportunity is up and good. And Pearson finally into the scorebook for Newcastle. Second one on the way. And she's good on both of those, and she has 2 points in the game. Make it 51-39. Checking back in, Kenzie Konzelman for Newcastle. Full court pressure set up by the Doggies. Gering gets it to Boggs, ahead to Freeze. Drive on the right side, misses the mark. Rebound comes down to Tidyman, quickly up the right side into the paint. Kick to Cass as they get it out to Austinson. Her shot blocked, and they work it back around to her. Her three misses badly. Aguayo comes down with the rebound all the way to the basket, and Kiera fouled on her way to the basket on the run out. And that'll put Kiera Aguayo at the free throw line. That is the 7th team foul on Newcastle. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left as the first one up and good from Kiera. She has 14 in the game. 52-39 Gering. Kiera's second one finds the mark there. She's got 15 in the game. Gering comfortably on top, 53-39 with 2 minutes 4 seconds left. Gering drops back on the pressure Tiedemann brings it into the front court for Newcastle. On the dribble, picked up by Fries, almost stole it away. Then the pass to Ossenson goes off her hands, out of bounds. And the turnover gives it back to Gering with 1:55 left in the game. Pearson quickly checks in for Volker on the Newcastle side. Pressure now by Newcastle. They get it in to Aguayo, ahead to Bonsack. Kelsey gets it ahead. Macy Boggs, and her shot blocked from behind by Cass. But Macy fouled on the shot, and she'll go to the line to shoot two with 1:48 left in the game. Cass with her third personal foul. Macy's first free throw just a little bit short. Substitution on the Newcastle side. Volker checking back in. Macy Boggs' second free throw rolls around, won't go. Bonsack runs down the rebound, has it in the corner. Kick out Fries, quickly to Aguayo on the left side. Kiera on the dribble now, pulls it back out. Fries with it, 1:38 left in the game. Boggs from right to left on the dribble, now picks it up to Aguayo. 90 seconds left in the game. They find Fries cutting to the basket, and Chloe lays it up and in. She's got 21 in the ball game. Gering on top, 55-39 with 1:19 left in the game. Tiedemann has it quickly to Konzelman, and she drains a three ball. Her first points of the game. 55-42, and a 30-second timeout taken by Newcastle. So we'll keep it right here once again and get you ready for the boys game immediately following our post-game show for the girls game here. And we'll name our Taco John's player of the game. We'll be sure to listen to the game today, relive it tomorrow on the podcast page at KNEB.com. Brought to you by First State Bank of Scottsbluff and Gering. Gering boys coming off a big win last night, and unless a miracle occurs here, it looks like the Gering girls will get their third win of the season here this afternoon on their home court. Full court pressure set up out of the timeout by Newcastle. Bonsack gets it into Aguayo. Kiera on the dribble, ahead to Bonsack. Back to Aguayo. Kiera drives, dishes out. Philbrick, the jumper, misses the mark. Boggs with the rebound, put back. That won't bounce in. Rebound fought for, picked up once again by Macy Boggs. Her put back off the mark. Cass comes down with rebound. 52 seconds left. To get it ahead to Konzelman. Pass intercepted by Fries as she got a hand in the passing lane. And as they come up the floor, a foul called. As the foul was on Newcastle's Mackenzie Konzelman. 9th team foul, and the first on her. And Chloe Fries, who had 12 points at halftime, has 21, looking to increase that. And she misses on the first one. As the rebound finally corralled by Austin, gets it ahead to Cass to Konzelman. Another three off the mark. The air ball and the putback goes off the top of the backboard as Bonsack comes down with the rebound. Chloe Fries dishes down low. Philbrick. And Philbrick can't score, but she's fouled. And she'll go to the line to shoot two with 27 seconds left in the game. And getting set to check in will be Hunter McFarland, as Taylor Philbrick, the 5'10 senior, shooting 69% from the free throw line, misses the first one. So the Gering girls will get win number 3 on the year, and they will break their 9-game losing streak with a win here tonight, and they will have a week off before they travel to Gordon Rushville next Friday night. Second one on the way as Taylor hits that one. She's got 8 in the ball game. 56-42, 23 seconds left. Ossenson drops one in at the Newcastle end. And a foul called on the inbounds play. So we'll keep it at the Newcastle end, as Konzelman was fouled on that play. And checking in for Gering is Sydney Winkler. She'll check in for Kiera Guayo. And for Kiera tonight, 15 points. Konzelman misses the first one. She'll get a second one. So a 12-point Gering lead here to wrap this one up. Second one off on the free throw. Bonsack comes down with the rebound. They get it ahead to Sydney Winkler. Winkler takes it center court, 7 seconds. And the Gering girls with 4 seconds left will get their third win of the year, as Sydney Winkler will hold it. And the buzzer sounds, and that's the ball game. Your final score in the girls game: Gering 56, Newcastle 44. We'll come back with our in-between game show between the girls and boys game, as the Gering girls get their third win of the year as they defeat Newcastle 56-44 on the West Coast scoreboard. Defeat Newcastle here on their home court by a final score of 56-44. Gering, after seeing the game tied at 15 in the first quarter, came back on Chloe Free's three-pointer to lead 18-15 at the end of the first quarter. Into the second quarter, Gering expanded the lead to 30-22 as they outscore Newcastle 12-7 in the second quarter, and that was your score at halftime, 30-22. Gering expanded the lead to 45-27 as they outscore Newcastle 15-5 in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Gering had the lead to up to as many as 20 in that fourth quarter, and come away with a 56-44 win over Newcastle here this afternoon. Get my Wyoming schools confused. So with the win, Gering goes to 3-11 on the year, and probably more importantly than the win is probably breaking a 9-game losing streak, as it's almost been a month since the Gering girls have tasted victory, their last victory coming on December 12th here at home against Mitchell. So we will come back, look at the numbers in this one, in the girls game, but the Gering girls win it 56-44 on the West Coast scoreboard. And back on our pregame show, or our postgame show. We'll go into a pregame show in a little bit, but the girls game in the books. The Gering girls come away with a 56-44 win. Well, it's time to look at the numbers, brought to you by Arby's, the meat crafters throughout western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. On the Newcastle side of the ledger, they were led in scoring this afternoon by Jalen Ostenson. The 5'10 freshman finished with 14 points on the night. She had 10 in the first quarter. She was held scoreless in the second quarter, had 2 points in the third quarter, and 2 points in the fourth quarter. She finishes the game with 14 points, 4 in the second half. Allie Cass right behind her with 13 points. She had 4 at halftime. She adds 9 in the second half for her 13 points. 6 points for Mercedes Volker. Shelby Tiedemann added 5 in the game. 3 points for Mackenzie Councilman. Madison Pearson with 2 points in the contest, and Sarah Sweet ended up with 1 point. And with the loss here tonight, Newcastle drops to 1-5 on the season. For Gering, they were led in scoring tonight with Chloe Fries, once again double figures for her, as she finishes with 21 this evening. She had 12 at halftime. She adds 9 in the second half as she has 21. She had 18 last night. She had 16 in the final game of the GNEC. So about 3 straight games in double figures for Chloe Fries, as she has 21 here, finishing up with tonight. Double figures for Kiera Aguayo here this evening. She had 8 at halftime, 7 in the second half. A much better performance from her. She only had 3 points last night, so Kiera Aguayo finishes with 15 here tonight. Taylor Philbrick finishes the night with 8 points. 4 points for Macy Boggs in the contest, and 2 points each for Gering's Maddie Seiler, Sydney Winkler, Kelsey Bonsack, and Carly Pazanka, as the Gering girls get a 56-44 win here this evening. Well, it's now time for our player of the game, and the player of the game is brought to you by Taco John's of Scottsbluff and Gering. Make Taco John's a game day tradition by unwrapping the original before or after every game. And our Taco John's player of the game here tonight, we're going to give that to Kiera Aguayo, as she finishes the contest with 15 points. As she had 8 in the first half, 7 in the second half. She finishes with 7 points. So Kiera Aguayo, our Taco John's player of the game here tonight, as the Gering girls get their 3rd win of the season as they defeat Newcastle 56-44 is your final score. Let's get things going here for the boys game here this evening, as the Gering boys, as we said, come off that big win last night, 70-37 over Sydney. And with that win, Gering with a record now of 3-9. But Gering last night led throughout most of the game. And as we said, that was the least amount of points that they've held an opponent to in a win, the 37 points that they held Sydney to last night. Gering led after a good first quarter. They led at the end of one, 23-7. Sydney didn't score their first points until 4:54 left in the first quarter, as Gering outscored Sydney 16-0 down the stretch. Into the second quarter, Gering outscoring Sydney 12-7, and Gering held a 35-14 halftime lead. Into the third quarter, that saw Gering outscored by Sydney 18-8. But Gering still led 53-22 at the end of 3. And into the fourth quarter, Gering expanded the lead, outscoring Sydney by only 2, 17-15, to get the 70-37 win. Colton Evers led the way with 17 points. He had 12 at halftime. Brett Bazanka also had 12 points at halftime. He finished with 12. He was held scoreless in that second half. Bryce Sherrill contributed 9 points, and Riley Goodrow had 8 points off the Gering bench last night. For the Newcastle Doggies, their head coach is Alan Van Eye, and Newcastle comes into tonight's action with a record of 1-4. Their lone win came over Lee Deadwood, 64-44. That was back on December 21st. Their losses so far this season have come to Custer, 67-53. They lost to Sundance 58-34, and they lost to Bellefouche 53-35, and then they lost last night at home to Torrington 58-55. So Newcastle will take on Gering. Gering looking for their second win, or their fourth win on the season, coming off that big win over Sydney last night in Sydney. Well, Chris Cottrell caught up with Gering head coach Kyle Cotton. We'll have that interview next after the break, as we're in between games. The boys game getting ready to get underway, and you're listening to it on KMOR 93.3 and on KMORFM.com.
Boys contest.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
The game coach's comments in right now with head coach
A little
Kyle
nervous
Cotton
for
his staff, and you'll be in the zone all season long. Coach, always good to go on the road and get a win, and especially when it was really never in doubt. You guys win last night over Sydney 70-37. How good of a feeling was it for the guys last night?
Well, it was a great feeling for us. We came out, this was probably the first game that we've really come out and executed our game plan to a T. We came out, we wanted to be aggressive immediately, and we set the tone early by getting the ball inside. We had mismatches with their guards trying to guard our guards, so we got our guards who were a little bigger, ball down low, and they were able to score early, and we got up 9-0, and we didn't really look back from there.
Colton Evers finished with a team high 17, a kid that when he's dialed in and, on his game can be really talented and produce in a lot of different areas. He can pass the basketball, he can score it, he can rebound it, he's long, he's athletic, he can get tips, deflections, things like that. So what'd you make of Colton's game last night?
Well, Colton's really been coming on lately. He struggled at the beginning of the year, and that's to be expected from all of our guys. I'm the third head coach they've had in 3 years, so we can't expect things to be perfect right now, but he is everything that you said. I mean, he's athletic, he can change the game with his athleticism, and he's been doing that the last 3 games, and hopefully he can continue to do that, and other guys can step up, because if we're all playing well, then I think we're a pretty good team.
Brett Bazanka, Steady Eddie had 12. You pretty much know what you're getting from him night in and night out, and that's just a bunch of consistency.
Yeah, Brett is always consistent. I mean, he's given us right around 12 points a game. He played well again. He's just always just level-headed and playing. Last night Bryce got into foul trouble early, so he probably played 8 minutes in the entire game. But he played well other than the fouls. So, I mean, last night we just all played well. We got to do it again today.
two of your wins have come in true road environments in spots that aren't always easy to get W's, up at Chadron and at Sydney. So I think that's a sign that when you guys play well, you can compete with anybody.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. It's kind of weird that we've played our best games on the road. We've had the 2 tournaments where we're on neutral courts, but that's a sign, that the guys are dialed in and focused, and we got to continue to do that. Hopefully we can have the same mentality here at home and do the same kind of thing.
What can you tell us about Newcastle, a team that took it to them last year up at their place?
They have a really good player, Tiedemann. He's a lefty. He's averaging like 24 points a game, so we're going to have our hands full with him. We haven't quite decided our game plan around him yet, if we're just going to try to focus on him or focus on the guys and let him do his. But we have to play well defensively. They're going to be a tough team for us. I think Torrington beat them last night by 2, but that was in Torrington. That's a tough place to play. So we're gonna have to play well on defense. We're still focusing on ourselves more than opponents at this point. But if we can continue to get the ball inside, I think we'll be all right.
And we'll get you out of here on this one, wrapping up with Kyle Cotton, the head coach for the Gering Bulldog Boys program, with a key to the win right now, brought to you by Team Auto Center, home of the lifetime warranty, and you get that lifetime warranty with every new vehicle purchase at Team Auto. So, if you're looking at this matchup, strengths, weaknesses for them, where you might have an advantage, what are some things you got to do well to take advantage of those things and get another win?
Well, I think this game will be kind of similar to last night, just the way it's played. They will play more zone than Sydney did, but we have to look to get the ball inside and attack the rim aggressively. I feel like we've been too passive and settled for jump shots too much early in the season. It's really been a key for us to work on getting to the rim and trying to get those baskets a little bit easier, or get to the foul line.
Head coach Kyle Cotton for the Gering boys. Tip-off coming up here in a few minutes at home against Newcastle. Coach, congrats on the W last night. Best of luck in this one, trying to make it a 2-0 weekend.
Thank you.
We'll come back with more. Jeff Kelly rejoins the broadcast right after this on the Rural Radio Network.
And back here at Gering High School as we're getting set for the boys game here this afternoon, or early evening I should say, as we're past the 5:30 mark here on a Saturday evening. Girls game is in the books, and the Gering girls get their 3rd win of the year as they get a 56-44 win over Newcastle. And now the Gering girls will have a week off, and then they will, both teams, boys and girls teams, will go on the road as they will travel to Gordon Rushville to take on the Mustangs. Both teams back out on the court as we're about 2 minutes and 45 seconds away from the start of this boys contest, as Newcastle comes in with a record of 1-4, and Gering comes in with a record of 3-9 on the year. So hopefully Gering can go 2-0 on this weekend. As we said, we had the big win on the road last night against Sydney. Well, it's now time for our starting lineups, and the starting lineups are brought to you by Western Nebraska Community College. From diplomas to degrees, it's for me. Learn more at WNCC.edu. Gering will start this way. It'll be Caleb Gonzalez, 5'8", and a junior. Bryce Sherrill, 6'4", and a senior. Colton Evers, 6'3", and a senior. Brett Pazanka, 6'1", and a junior. And rounding out the starting five for Gering, it'll be Turner Ray, 6'4", and a junior. For Newcastle, their starting five will look like this. It'll be Dylan Tidyman, 6'2", and a senior. And you heard head coach Kyle Cotton talk about him as Tidyman averaging 24 points a game, 42% from beyond the arc, 53% from the field. And in addition to that, he throws in 8 rebounds a game for Newcastle. Zach Purviance in the starting lineup, a 6'2" junior averaging 5 points a game. Peyton Tystad, a 5'11" senior at 5 points a game. Brandon Fry, a 5'9" senior. And rounding out the starting five for the Newcastle Doggies, it'll be Slade Roberson, a 6-foot senior averaging 3 points a game. Alan Van Eyck, their head coach, as Newcastle comes into this contest averaging 46 points a game. And they're giving up to opponents, giving up 56 points a game. So that's definitely one side of the ledger that you don't want to be on the downside of. Our officiating crew here tonight: Dave Hawksworth, Tori Schwartz, and Paul Edens. As the starting lineup's just about ready to be introduced here from Gering High School, as Newcastle will be sporting the road black uniforms with Newcastle in orange across the front of the jerseys and white letters and numbers for the Newcastle Doggies. And Gering will be in the home white uniforms with the blue letters and numbers trimmed in gold. As the clock stopped at 8 seconds, now we've got 8 minutes back on the clock as we still await the starting lineups here. As Gering looking for their 4th win on the season. And then both these teams, as we said, will have a week off before they travel to Gordon Rushville next Friday night. And we'll have that game for you right here on 93.3 KMOR. Scottsbluff getting a win last night in Mitchell, as both the boys and the girls getting a win, and Josiah Diolos going over the 1,000 point mark for his career on the basketball court. Scottsbluff not in action tonight, as we still await the start of this contest. Is a lot of electronics having to be put in certain positions in order for things to go according to plan. As they, of course, here at Gering High School with the remodeling, they've got 2 big video boards that are controlled by a computer. And if sometimes those things decide to stop working, and someone has to manually come up and get them working, in addition to the regular scoreboards, which they only have one scoreboard here. They've got 2 big screens that also act as scoreboards, but one actual scoreboard here. Here at Gering High School. Of course, they just came off of a remodel this past year. And as Dylan Tidyman being introduced, and he will be the man. We will probably call his name quite a bit here tonight. As we said, he's just he's a senior, averaging 24 points a game. And a change in the starting lineup. Cooper Devereaux. And rounding out the starting 5 for Newcastle is Brandon Fry. And now the Gering boys being introduced. It will be Caleb Gonzalez along with Bryce Sherrill. Colton Evers, who's come back into the starting lineup. He was out for a little while. Jack Franklin was put into the starting lineup. But now Colton Evers back into the starting lineup, the 6'3" senior. And Brett Bazankin rounding out the top 5 for Gering. It is Turner Ray, the 6'4" junior for Gering. And not a bad crowd on hand for a Saturday evening. They will get ready to jump this one up, get this one underway. Here is Bryce Sherrill will jump it up for Gering. And it looks like it will be Tiedemann, the 6'2" senior. He will jump it up for Newcastle as the tap is controlled by Gering into the hands of Turner Ray, and he throws up a shot at the Gering end, and it goes out of bounds. And it'll go over to Newcastle as Tiedemann brings it across the 10-second line, finds Devereaux on the dribble left side, and then Devereaux with the offensive foul as he throws an arm out there. First personal, first team on Newcastle. Well, our opening tip was brought to you by Papa Murphy's Pizza at 2801 Avenue B in Scottsbluff. Don't forget to register for the Papa Murphy's Text Club for a sweet deal as Colton Evers driving and scoring at the Gering end. And Gering jumps out 2-0. Devereaux lobs inside, pass stolen away by Turner Ray, ahead to Evers. And as Evers comes up the floor, he's fouled by Tiedemann. That'll be the first on him. Very quickly, second team foul on Newcastle. Gering with the ball, leading 2-0. Brett Bazanka holds, cross-court pass, work it in the corner right side to Colton Evers. Evers takes to the free throw line, extended to Gonzalez. Left side, Sherrill drives, tries to dump down low, and it'll be an offensive foul called on Bryce Sherrill as he crashed into Newcastle's Brandon Fry. And a turnover gives it back to Newcastle. Here's Devereaux as he brings it across the 10-second line. Looks in the corner for Purviance, and it's knocked out of bounds. Keep it to the Newcastle end as the Doggies work from left to right here in this first half. Devereaux to trigger it in near sideline in front of the Gering bench. Quickly into Tiedemann, he'll turn, hand back to Devereaux. Devereaux brings it center court on the dribble. Back to Tiedemann on the right wing. He'll direct the offense. Cross-court pass, he finds Tystad. Gering in a 2-3 zone. Bounce entry in low, almost knocked away as Tystad picks it up. Newcastle still looking for their first points. Devereaux has it. Back to Tystad, top of the key, still looking. Get it inside now, kick out. Back to Devereaux. As into the hands of Tiedemann, he'll control, try to go inside to Purviance, knocked away. Turner Ray ahead to Evers to the basket, comes up short. Tiedemann pulls down the rebound for Newcastle. On the push, center court, into the paint, throws up a shot. He's fouled on his way to the basket. And he will go to the line. Or check that, it will be a non-shooting foul. So Newcastle will inbound as the foul was on. Caleb Gonzalez picks up his first. Inbounds pass comes to Purviance. 3-ball comes up short. Turner Ray comes down with the rebound for Gering. Outlet Gonzalez. Quickly up the floor goes Caleb. Kick out Pazanka. 3-ball, too strong. Rebound knocked around. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Newcastle's ball. 5:57 left in the first quarter. 2-0 Gering. Jack Franklin at the scoring table. He will check in for Bryce Sherrill. And checking in on the Newcastle side will be Slade Roberson. Newcastle with the ball, looking for their first points. We're almost 3 minutes into this first quarter. Tiedemann into the front court. Gives it off to Roberson. Pass stolen away by Gonzalez. Ahead on the run out to Bazanka. That's blocked from behind by Purviance. And the foul called on Purviance. And fouled in the act of shooting is Brett Pazanka as he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2 shots. 2-0 Gering. Brett with a dozen points last night, drains the first one. And Gering jumps out to a quick 3-0 lead here. As Brett good on both of those. And Gering on top, 4-0 here early in the first quarter. Purviance with it, 2 dribbles out on top. Finds Roberson to Fry. Fry bounced down low inside to Roberson. Knocked away from him. Loose ball picked up by Gonzalez on the run out. Brett Pazanka with the layup is up and good. And Brett Pazanka with 4. Gering leads it 6-0. And a timeout on the floor. A full timeout. We'll take it with him as Gering leads Newcastle 6-0 on the West Coast scoreboard.
Visit benzelpestcontrol.com.
And out of the timeout, Dylan Tidyman gets Newcastle on the board with the layup as Jack Franklin trying to answer back with a 3. No good. Rebound pulled down by Turner Ray, and then Turner fouled on the putback as the foul was on Peyton Tystad. He'll pick up his first, already the 4th team foul on Newcastle. As Turner shooting only 44% from the free throw line this season. Off on the first one. You can listen to the game today, relive it tomorrow on the podcast page at KNEB.com. Brought to you by First State Bank of Scottsbluff and Gering. Turner misses them both. Battle for the rebound. Picked up by Tystad. They'll get it into the hands of Dylan Tidyman. He runs this offense as he picks up his dribble at the top of the key. Gives it off to Roberson. To Tidyman as they work it around the outside of the arc. On this half-court trap defense by Gering. Roberson with it, skip past Tidyman. Inside, pass intercepted by Ray. Gives it ahead to Ebers. Ebers drives right side of the basket, too strong. Rebound battled for. Tystad comes down with the rebound for the Doggies. They'll come the other way, trailing 6-4 with 4:21 left in the first quarter. Tidyman starts to drive and he's called for an offensive. Check that, Roberson called for an offensive foul away from the ball. That'll give it back to Gering as Landon Engel in for Newcastle along with Brandon Fry. Gering leading it by 4. Here's Pazanka on the right side, lob it inside. Ray, kick out back to Pazanka, quickly to Gonzalez. Looking, left side in the corner, here's Ebers with it. Gering works it around the outside of the arc. Gonzalez, and a 3-second call on Gering. That'll turn it back to Newcastle with 4:02 left. First quarter, 6-2. Gering on top. Tidyman brings it across into the hands of Fry. Here's Engel with it, top of the key. Purviance. Newcastle continues to work it around the outside of the arc. Fry on the dribble now, try to get it to Tidyman, stolen away. Gonzalez on the outlet, ahead to Brett Pazanka. His layup goes. And Brett Pazanka with 6 points here in the first half Gering leads at 8-2 as Gering steals it away at the Newcastle end. They get it ahead to Ray. Gonzalez, 3-ball, misses everything into the hands of Purviance. He'll bring it into the offensive end as Newcastle works from left to right. Loses the handles. He's fouled from behind. Caleb Gonzalez, the guilty party. He'll pick up his second personal, 4th team on Gering. Cooper Devereaux back into the Newcastle lineup as Noah Longoria checks in for Gering, and Caleb will sit down with those 2 personal fouls as the inbounds pass too tall for Landon Engel. And a Newcastle turnover. It'll be Gering's ball with 3:11 left. Gering on top, 8-2. Turner Ray will get a rest on the Gering bench as Zach Wilson in for the Bulldogs, looking for their 2nd straight win. Big win last night, 70-37 over Sydney on Sydney's home court. Here's Jack Franklin into the paint. Shot off, no good, and a foul on the rebound. A pushing foul down low. As the foul was on Gering, Zach Wilson. He'll pick up his first. And Gering, both teams with 5 team fouls here with 2:58 left in the first quarter. Gering in a 1-3-1. They'll pick him up at half court as Longoria there into the offensive end for Newcastle. High post as driving to the basket. Shot off, no good by Brandon Fry as Zach Wilson comes down with the rebound, then he travels with the ball. And the turnover will keep it at the Newcastle end here with 2:44 left. Gering leading by 6. Newcastle will inbound, lob it inside Tidyman. He leaps, gets it, and scores it. Nice job by Tidyman to leap and get that inbounds pass and put it in the basket as Ebers drives at the Gering end but can't score it. But he was fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Brandon Fry committing the foul. And Colton Evers, who had 17 points last night, drains the first one. .67% from the line for Colton Evers here tonight. Turner Ray back into the Gering lineup as good on both those free throws as Ebers, and Gering leads it by 6. 10-4 with 2.5 minutes left first quarter. Engel on the left wing. They try to get it inside. That pass knocked away. Gering with numbers. Bazanka left side. Dishes down low. Ray lost the handle. Loose ball picked up by Engel. Ahead. Tidyman. 3-ball on the way. Too strong. Off the glass into the hands of Jack Franklin. Jack on the push. Into the paint. Right side. Kick out Longoria. 3-ball. Misses the mark. Tidyman comes down with the rebound. Long down court pass ahead to Engel. Left side to the basket. Off the mark. Ebers comes down with the air ball. He's got it center court. Tries to bounce it ahead to Longoria. Stolen away. Tidyman got a hand in there, and Newcastle will come the other way, trailing 10-4. Tidyman on the dribble. He whips it inside to Roberson, and he's fouled on his way to the basket. And Roberson will go to the line to shoot 2. As the foul was on Turner Ray. Ray picks up his first. Slade Roberson, 33% from the free throw line this season. Misses on the first one. Here comes that Gering bench as Riley Goodrow, who had 8 points last night, checks in along with Brady Radzimski. Everybody in a Gering uniform got playing time last night as Gering with a 70-37 win over Sydney. Second one off the mark. Rebound fought for. Engel runs it down for Newcastle. Tries to bounce it inside. Pass knocked away. Now loose. Picked up by Brady Radzimski. And Brady gets called for turning the ball over or palming. Went just a little bit too fast. So Newcastle will have it with 1:34 left first quarter. Newcastle trails by 6. Tidyman brings it into the offensive end. Gets it to Engel. Inside they go, high post to Purviance. His pass knocked away as Purviance trying to go inside. That'll remain with Newcastle. Fry will inbound it. Baseline left. Out on top. Here's Tidyman, takes a big step. The layup doesn't go. Jack Franklin comes down with the rebound for Gering. Quickly up the right side, he finds Goodrow. Riley quickly to Longoria left side. Gering will work around the outside of the arc. Here's Jack Franklin, right side, bounce inside to Ray. Low pass, he has to kick it back out. Franklin for a 3-ball. Back iron is Goodrow. Battles for the rebound. And that'll bring Zach Wilson back into the Gering lineup. 7th team foul on Gering. So Newcastle in the 1-and-1 as the foul was on. Brady Radzimski pick up his first. And Slade Roberson once again back at the free throw line for Newcastle. Roberson missed his last 2, then he steps over the line on the free throw. And they wave that off, and the ball will go back to Gering with 53 seconds left. Gering leading it 10-4. Radzimski picked up for Purviance. Chest pass to Longoria to Jack Franklin, top of the key, back to Longoria. Gering works it around the outside of the arc. Goodrow, bounce down low, Radzimski on the right side. Bring it top of the key, give it up to Longoria. Left side now, here's Franklin with it. Skip pass, Radzimski drives baseline to the basket. Shot doesn't go. But Brady will go to the line to shoot 2 for Gering with 29 seconds left. As Braden Fry commits the foul, and both teams in the bonus now. Both teams with 17 fouls, and Fry with 3 personal fouls here in this first quarter, I should say. As Brady misses on the first one. Said everybody in a Gering uniform got into the action last night. Brady had 5 points. Peyton Tystad back in for Newcastle. Brady's second free throw attempt, in and out, doesn't go, runs down the rebound, goes baseline, kicks it out to Jack Franklin. Franklin pull up from 15, front iron, and a battle for the rebound. And I think they're going to get Jack Franklin here for going over the back, and that's exactly what it is. And Riley Goodrow being helped off the floor as he crashed to the floor during that flurry in play. And you hate to see this, but Riley getting a good hand from this crowd, not putting any weight on that right ankle. I didn't see it happen, but I just saw him go to the floor. And he'll take a seat on the Gering bench. And Zach Wilson back into the Gering lineup as Austin Freeberg, the trainer for Gering, will take a look at that one. As the foul shot by Purviance off, no good. The rebound run down by Newcastle, and Radzimski steals it away up the right side, tries to dish out, and the pass goes off the hands of Newcastle's Peyton Tystad. It'll remain at the Gering end as Gering works from right to left here in this first half with 21 seconds left. And Tidyman will check back into the Newcastle lineup for Slade Roberson. Gering will inbound at their offensive end. Baseline right, Ebers to trigger it in. Looking, they'll have to lob it out on top, throw it into the backcourt. Jack Franklin will have to run it down. Brings it across, Purviance right there to pick him up. Turn and hand to Brady Radzimski, 10 seconds left, first quarter. Here's Franklin with it. Kick out Longoria. Franklin, 5 seconds left. Jack to Noah, to Radzimski inside the arc, left side, misses the shot, and that ends the first quarter. At the end of one, it's Gering 10, Newcastle 4. on the West Coast scoreboard. And welcome back to Gering High School as we get ready to start second quarter action here. Gering on top in a low scoring first quarter, 10-4 over Newcastle, as Brett Pazanka led the way in the first quarter with 6 points. So as we get ready to start the second quarter, Brett Pazanka back on the floor along with Gonzalez, Ebers, Sherrill, and Turner Ray as Newcastle has the ball to start the second quarter. They go inside to Tidyman. His layup misses the mark. Rebound comes down to Gering. Sherrill with it center court. Now takes it quickly to the right side on the dribble, loses the handle. Gonzalez picks it up to Ebers. Here's Pazanka, drives left side baseline, kicks it down low. Pass couldn't be handled by Ebers. Quickly the other way, Newcastle provides, trying to get it ahead to Engel. And the pass too hard for him to handle. And the turnover gives the ball right back to Gering. Lowest scoring first half, only 4 points. All came from Dylan Tidyman on the Newcastle side in the first quarter. Ebers with the ball on the right wing. Now give it up to Pazanka and get it right back in the corner. They go to Sherrill, right side. Bryce to a cutting Turner Ray. Check that to Brett Pazanka. The layup misses the mark. Rebound comes down to Devereaux. Devereaux couldn't stop quick enough. And he gets called for traveling as he talks to Tidyman after that play. He said, I wanted to pass it to you, but you went the wrong way at the last minute. So Gering will have it. We're a minute into the second quarter, 10-4. Gering on top by 6. Sherrill tries to drop it inside. Pass tipped in the air. It goes out of bounds. It went off of Ebers, who was setting on the baseline. We said Riley Goodrow went out at the end of the first quarter with an ankle injury. The pass stolen away by Gonzalez. Caleb on the run out. Shot blocked from behind, but it'll remain at the Gering end. As checking in will be Tate and Engel, so we've got Landon and Tate and Engel. Tate, a 5'9" freshman. As he comes in for Cooper Devereaux. Gering will inbound at their offensive end. The basket to our left. Evers gets it into Pazanka. Brett will give it up to Gonzalez. He'll get it right back in the corner. Ray. Bounce entry inside to Ebers, and then Ebers fouled as he's triple teamed. And the foul will put Colton Ebers at the free throw line for Gering. Landon Engel committing the personal foul. And Colton Ebers with 4 points in the first quarter at the line. Can't score on the first one. Rebound tipped around into the hands of Sherrill. Bounce it into Ebers, and then Ebers fouled from behind. And Landon Engel picks up 2 quick fouls here in this second quarter. And that will put Colton Ebers right back at the free throw line for Gering. And Roberson at the scores table. He will come in for Engel. He'll sit down with those 2 personal fouls. 3 personal fouls for Newcastle's Brandon Fry here in the first half. First one on the way. Colton drains that one. Gering on top, 11-4. As Goodrow over in the weight room that you can see to our left, jumping up and down on that ankle, as the second free throw is waved off as someone in the lane too soon, but being overseen in the training room by Austin Freeberg. Now Riley coming out of the weight room, coming down the ramp. He'll rejoin his team on the bench. Look like he's walking pretty good on that ankle. Newcastle trailing 11-4. They've got the ball at their offensive end. Tidyman has it to Engel. Here's Roberson on left side outside holding the ball. 2 dribbles right back to Tidyman. Gering in that 2-3 zone. Caused Newcastle trouble here in the game. Purviance holds the ball. Looking. Engel with it. It's almost stolen away. It's still loose on the floor. Newcastle picks it up. They'll get into the hands of Tidyman. Tidyman at the free throw line, double team. Roberson with a 3 ball from the right wing, too strong. Rebound tipped around, goes off of Sherrill into the hands of Brett Pazanka. Brett up the right side. He'll pull it out between the circles, reset the offense for Gering with 5.5 minutes left here for the end of the first half. Sherrill pull-up jumper, baseline right side, off the side rim. Rebound comes down to Tidyman on the run out, kicks it to Roberson. His shot partially blocked, but Caleb Gonzalez will be called for the foul. And if that is on Caleb, that will be his 3rd personal foul. And that is the 3rd on Caleb. 9th team foul on Gering. And Slade Roberson, the 6-foot sophomore, at the charity stripe, off on the first one. And that'll bring Noah Longoria off the bench, and Caleb will sit down at the 5:21 mark with those 3 personal fouls here. And Roberson has Newcastle stuck on 4. They continue to be stuck on 4. As the second free throw off, Tystad tried to save from going out of bounds. Couldn't do so. The ball will go over to Gering. Pazanka ahead to Ebers, down in the corner. Sherrill pull-up jumper left side, comes up short as the ball was trying to be saved from going out of bounds by Tystad. And he couldn't do so, so the ball will be Gering's with 5:05 left here in the first half. Ebers quickly into Longoria to Pazanka. Right side here, Sherrill inside to Colton Ebers, and Ebers fouled from behind by Roberson. And Roberson with his 2nd personal foul. And that'll put Colton Ebers at the free throw line, as Colton with 5 points. The last 4 have come from the free throw line as he misses the first one. Checking in on the Newcastle side is Cooper Devereaux. 3 minutes into the second quarter, and Newcastle stuck on 4 points. Gering, though, stuck on 11 for the most part as Ebers' 2nd free throw off, and Newcastle comes down with the rebound. Tidyman into the front court, and he gets called for palming the ball on his way to the basket. So the only 4 points that Newcastle has scored up to this point in the game have all been scored by Dylan Tidyman. Gering has it. As we said, they're kind of stuck on 11 here. The scoreboard not getting a lot of work here in this first half. Noah Longoria has the free throw line. Gives it up to Sherrill, the runner with the right hand. Off too strong. Tidyman on the rebound ahead. Purviance on the run out. Layup up and good. And Purviance with his first points of the game. And Newcastle gets off of 4 and makes it 11-6. And at the Gering offensive end, ball knocked away. It'll remain with Gering. As Colton Evers will trigger the inbound. Quickly into Brett Pazanka. Brett holds the ball. Cross-court pass. Jack Franklin looks at a three. Gives it up. Pazanka directing offense. Bounce to Longoria. Inside they go to Ebers. Kick out. Quickly they work it to Franklin, but Tidyman got a hand in there as Gering tried to work the ball from left to right. It'll remain at the Gering end as they work to the basket to our left. Quickly into Ebers on the right side. Right back to Jack Franklin. Pazanka left side to Longoria. Inside Turner Ray double team kick out. Quickly back to Longoria. The runner baseline off the mark. Off balance shot. Proviance comes down with the rebound. Outlet pass Tidyman. Spin move in the paint. Loses the handle. Loose ball picked up by Franklin. Ahead Brett Pazanka on the right wing. Has it. Gives it up to Franklin. Tidyman. Franklin with the 15-foot jumper. And Jack Franklin into the scorebook. Gering 13-6 with 3:37 left here in the low scoring first half here from Gering High School. Devereaux has it. Finds Proviance to Tystad as they work it around the outside of the arc here as we count it down here at halftime. Devereaux holding, bounce to Tidyman at the free throw line. He'll take it back outside. Give it up to Engel. Three ball that misses the mark. Rebound tipped up in the air. And Ebers grabbed the rebound but knocked to the floor was Turner Ray. And we've already had Riley Goodrow go out with an ankle injury. And now I think Turner Ray bounced off the floor. It looked like he hit, I don't know if he hit his head or his elbow. But Sam Rushello checking in for Gering, and they will take Turner Ray to the bench as he gets congratulations from all of his teammates, and he'll sit down at the end of the bench. Took a hard spill on the floor. So Gering will have it, leading by 7 here, 3 minutes left, first half. Ebers into the front court right side, he'll hand to Longoria. Franklin left side, Pazanka, three ball on the way, count it! Brett Pazanka with 9. Gering by 10, 16-6 here in the first half. Driving for Viance, his off-balance shot misses the mark. Franklin comes down with the rebound ahead. Ebers into the paint, tried to whip it down low to Noah Longoria. And it goes out of bounds, and Newcastle will have it, trailing by their largest margin here tonight. Tidyman has been held to 4 points here in the first half, averaging 24 on the season per game. He's got it. Give it up. Three ball up no good by Tystad. Gering comes down with the rebound. Pazanka on the dribble outside, quickly to Franklin Longoria. Right side outside, he holds it. On the dribble, picked up by Roberson. Continues to hold it to Franklin. Left side here, Sam Rushello with it. Newcastle in a 2-3 zone. They work it down low. Rushello to the basket, and Sam Rushello off the bench, the 6'3 sophomore, scores his first points of the game. Gering by 12, 18-6, and a timeout on the floor taken by Newcastle head coach Alan Van Eye, a 30-second. Well, now let's see. Now they put 60 seconds up on the clock. Thought I saw the officials say there. They switch it back to a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Panhandle Trails Intercity Public Transit offers regularly scheduled accessible bus service serving communities in the Panhandle Monday through Friday. Reservations are required. Visit panhandletrails.com or call 761-TRIP. That's 761-8747. Stay with us. We'll have our halftime show, recap the scoring in this one. And I thought I saw Steve Land in the vicinity. We'll see if we can get some comments from him, as he usually visits us at halftime, as his girls came away with their third win of the year. Out of the timeout, Newcastle has the ball. 45 seconds left. Ball knocked away from Tidyman. He regains it. Here's Purviance with a 3 ball. Off no good. Rebound run down by Devereaux. Give it back to Tidyman. 33 seconds left. Tidyman into the paint, and the runner, and an offensive foul called on Tidyman as Riley Goodrow went out earlier with that ankle injury back into the lineup, and he takes the charge. So wipe the basket off by Tidyman, and the score remains 18-6. So Gering has it. Tidyman with his second personal foul, 10th team. So we count it down, 24 seconds left. Goodrow with it to Longoria, right side, outside, inside Pazanka, low blocker outside. Work it quickly to Franklin. Here's Rushalow with it. Sam holds, back to Longoria, left to right into the corner. Jack Franklin starts to drive baseline, and he steps on the baseline on his way. And the turnover will give it back to Newcastle with 6.8 seconds left. Full court pressure set up by Gering. They get it into Devereaux. Devereaux on the dribble. Ahead to Purviance. He'll get up a shot before the buzzer. Off the glass, no good. And that ends the first half. We're at halftime here at Gering High School. And your score at half, Gering 18, Newcastle 6 on the West Coast scoreboard. On top by a count of 18-6, and glad to have Rick Winkler join us here between games, give us a little recap of the girls game, and how good did it feel to get that third win after losing 9 in a row?
Yeah, I think we were due for a win, and we thought we matched up pretty good with them. They were going to put some pressure on us and different things like that if we handled it. Put the ball in the basket. I thought we would be okay, and that's kind of what we did.
So what was the mindset coming into the game this afternoon? You take on a tough Sydney team last night, a game you had your chances in, but just weren't able to get over the hump. Talked to Coach Land after the game. He said you were going to look at a lot of film between last night and today. What did you see that you needed to improve on coming into this afternoon's game?
I think mainly after a tough night like last night and a good team against Sydney, we just wanted to come out and compete and just do kind of the fundamental stuff. We want to take care of the ball, rebound, and play some tough defense because we've had a habit of giving up too many points and too many easy baskets, and it's just kind of come back and forget that game and move on. And we thought we had a good chance in this one, and we just need to take care of stuff, and that's what we did.
The freshman for Newcastle, by my record, you only held her to 14 points, but you held her scoreless in the second quarter. Was she kind of a point of emphasis coming into the game? Yeah,
she was. We knew that she was going to be a decent player, and she's leading scorer and stuff, so we had to concentrate on her a little bit defensively. We lost her a couple times, but for the most part we did pretty good against her.
A good performance once again on your side. Chloe Fries and Kiera Aguayo kind of led the way. Kiera, I think, bounced back a little bit this afternoon. She had an off night last night.
Yeah, we need her to score. We need her to shoot well. We kind of struggle to score, and and she's one of those that is, put some time in, and she's a good shooter. And when she's not hitting them, then that gives us that's even more that we're not going to score and some points that we need. I mean, we need her double figures most games, and Chloe always gives us a pretty good game. She attacks the basket really well. She gets out on breaks, and she's able to finish, and so she did what she usually does. But getting Kiara to step it up, that was good.
What did Steve say to the team after the win in the locker room?
Well, just it's good to get a win, and something that we needed, and then we just need to be able to build off of this and get into this week of practice and keep going forward and see what we can do. I mean, it's never how good you play at the beginning. It's what you're doing at the end of the year, and so we're trying to just get better each game.
You've kind of gotten some time here. I mean, the first part of the season up to the holiday break, you start out with the Western Conference tournament, and then you had Thursday, Friday, Saturday game right after that. Not a lot of time to practice, and then you go into the holiday break, and then you go right into the GNAC tournament. You play 3 games back-to-back. How good is it going to be for you to – you've only got one game next week. It's on Friday, and you've got a good week of practice, and you've got another break after that. What kind of things do you look to accomplish this next week and with plenty of time between games?
Well, I think it's always good to, because of all that you talked about, it's good to have, 4 or 5 practices or whatever before you play a game or just play one game a week. You can work on whatever you need to work on. We need to rebound better. We need to, a lot of girls need to learn some plays and learn some inbounds plays and stuff like that. So we need to really work on that stuff, work on our defensive effort. But, basically I think you can go from practice to practice and just work on everything you need to. We need to work on shooting, free throws, you name it. We need to work on it, and that's what we're going to focus on.
How is this team starting to come together? You didn't have Maddie Seiler due to her injury. You lost Emily for a little while. They've started to kind of get back in the groove. Have they started to kind of work better into the rotation?
Yeah, I think that getting healthy is one thing that we didn't have, and just extra players off the bench with Maddie, and then Emily's a starter, so she needed to get in there, and she's one that we need to rebound and stuff. So just getting girls back and getting into rhythm. I mean, that's one thing that we didn't have because of injuries and because of younger girls and ones that didn't have experience. I think what we're going to look forward to is just getting towards this middle to the end of the season and gelling a little bit better and seeing if we get the girls back and we get some more experience, that see what we can do down the road.
All right, long road trip next Friday up to Gordon and Rushville. What do you expect from Gordon Rushville?
Well, it's always going to be tough. I know their girls teams are usually really physical, and they're tough girls, and I haven't looked too much on them, but I know just from past stuff that they're pretty good. It's a long road trip, and we need a win. We need to keep this going, and it's an opportunity for us to build off of what we did tonight and go from there.
All right, Rick, we appreciate you stopping by. And like you say, let's hopefully keep it going next week in Gordon.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Rick Winkler joins us here on our in-between halftime show here of the boys' game as the girls came away with a big win here this afternoon, 56-44. We'll come back, recap the scoring individually in this one, but at halftime, it's Gering 18, Newcastle 6 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back here at halftime, as halftime counting down, a little extended conversation with Rick Winkler after the Gering girls get their third win of the year over Newcastle. Time to look at the numbers, brought to you by Arby's and Meat Crafters throughout western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. Not a lot of scoring to cover. Dylan Tidyman with 4 for Newcastle. Cooper Devereaux with 2. That is all of Newcastle's 6 points. On the Gering side, Brett Pazanka leading the way with 9 points in the first half, 5 points for Colton Evers, and 2 points each for Zach Wilson and Sam Rushelo off the bench, as kind of a low-scoring first half here in this one. After Gering led it 23-7 at the end of the first quarter last night against Sydney, they only scored 10 points in the first quarter here, and they add 8 in the second quarter. They outscore Newcastle 8-6 in the second quarter. Counting it down here, and we will get underway here with second half action from Gering High School as the boys looking for their 4th win on the year against 9 losses. And Newcastle came into the game with a record of 1-4. They had a loss last night at home against Torrington. So it'll be Turner Ray, Brett Pazanka, Caleb Gonzalez, Bryce Sherrill, and Colton Evers to start the second half for Gering. And for Newcastle, Tidyman, Proviance, Devereaux, Tystad, and Fry. Check that, Roberson in the lineup for Newcastle in the starting 5 as Gering has it. They will work from left to right here in this second half. Gonzalez holds it on the right wing. Looking inside for Ray, nothing there. They'll kick it back out on top to Pazanka to Ray. Ray on the wing, try to bounce inside, pass too low for Evers, and Newcastle with the turnover as Devereaux takes it on the dribble to the left side, now quickly to on the left side, has it, and he gets called for traveling. And a turnover for Newcastle will give it right back to Gering. Only 2 points for Newcastle in that second quarter. As Gering in the home white uniforms tonight, Newcastle in the road black uniforms. Here's Evers with it, finds Ray on the right side. Ray picked up there by Devereaux. Quickly to left side, here's Evers. Looking inside for Ray, not there. Top of the key, Pazanka, 3 ball, in and out, no good, and Turner Ray with skying for the rebound, gets called for his second personal foul, first team foul on Gering. Dylan Tidyman into the front court for Newcastle on the right-handed dribble to Proviance. Proviance on the dribble from right to left. Inside, they go inside, try to get it to Roberson off the pass from Tystad, and it goes out of bounds. A Newcastle turnover gives it back to Gering. Ahead to Evers on the wing. Quickly right side, Gonzalez. Here's Sherrill with it. Bryce holds the ball above his head as Pazanka comes to get the pass. Gets a high screen. They'll give it up to Gonzalez. Caleb to the free throw line. Back to Sherrill. Drives, cut off. Gonzalez drives and dumps. Back to Sherrill. Ball fake, drives baseline. Tries to get it off to Evers. Pass stolen away by Tystad, then stolen back by Gering. Evers to the basket. Goes up and under with the right hand and scores it. Colton Evers with 7 in the game. Gering on top, 20-6. Down low, pass stolen away from Tystad. On the run out to the basket, Sherrill scores it, and he's fouled. See if they count the basket. They do count the basket. And Bryce Sherrill held scoreless in this game in the first half. Gets the basket there. And Gering with a quick 4-0 run to start this third quarter off. As Bryce Sherrill can't convert on traditional three-point play, but the rebound pulled down by Turner Ray. Back to Bryce. Bryce drives left side. Shot comes up short. Tystad comes down with the rebound for Newcastle up the left side to Roberson. Roberson almost has it stolen away from him by Sherrill. Kick it out on top. Now they work it to Devereaux on the right side. He'll pull it out, reset the offense for Newcastle. 5.5 minutes left third quarter, 22-6. Gering on top. Here's Tystad with it, tried to go down low, and the pass through the hands of Tystad, but it was touched by Gering. So it'll remain Newcastle's ball at their offensive end as they work from right to left here in this second half. Devereaux inbound, quickly to Purviance, driving to the basket. Shot comes up short. Evers comes down with the rebound. On the push, into the paint. Kick, left side, three ball. Gonzalez in and out. And a whistle and a foul away from the ball. As a pushing foul called on Colton Evers. That'll be the first on Colton, second team on Gering. Tystad into the front court for Newcastle on the dribble. Finds Roberson on the right side. They'll bounce high post to Tidyman. Pass tipped around, stolen away. Evers gets it ahead. Sherrill to the basket. He slams it home. Bryce Sherrill getting things cranked up here in this second half. He's got 4. And Gering 24-6 and a timeout taken by Newcastle head coach Alan Van Eye as Bryce Sherrill with the slam and a 30-second timeout taken. So we will, or check it, it will be a 1-minute timeout. Let's take it with them. Gering leads Newcastle 24-6 on the West Coast scoreboard. Out of the timeout, 4:43 left third quarter, 24-6 Gering. Newcastle with the ball. As a pass stolen away, Colton Evers on the run out. He tries to slam it home, he misses it. Pazanka gets the rebound, he comes up short on the 15-foot jumper, and Newcastle will come the other way. Tidyman with it. On the dribble right side. He'll find Roberson in the corner to Devereaux. He'll find Purviance. Pass knocked away from Tystad. Loose for Gering. Sherrill ahead. Evers tried to lob it to him on the slam, but Bryce steps on the baseline and will turn it over back to Newcastle. And little clock discrepancy, and now they'll get Jack Franklin into the ball game along with Engel for Newcastle as Colton Evers will check out of the game. Newcastle with the ball, trailing by 18 points. Purviance into the front court on the dribble, takes it to the left side. Roberson has it. Back to Tystad. Here's Tidyman with it, skip pass, three ball on the way, drain it. Purviance, his 5th point of the game. 24-9, Gering. Sherrill tries to get into Ray, pass too low, the ball loose on the floor. And the held ball and the possession arrow pointing Newcastle's way. So the ball will go over to Newcastle. And Brady Radzimski in for Caleb Gonzalez on the Gering side. Tidyman will walk it across the 10-second line for Newcastle. Cross-court pass. They work it right side down on the corner. Roberson has it picked up there by Ray. Back to Proviance. Here's Tidyman, top of the key. Inside they go to Roberson. He tried to bounce it baseline. Franklin got on the way. Franklin tried to get it ahead, but Tidyman in the passing lane steals it right back. Long down court pass to Engel. Engel's layup won't fall. Battle for the rebound and a held ball, and this time it'll be Gering's ball with 2:55 left in the third quarter. Gering on top in a low-scoring game, 24-9. Zach Wilson into the Gering lineup. Brady Radzimski will bring it into the offensive end for Gering as they work from left to right. Sherrill on the wing, right side. Finds Pazanka, top of the key. Brett, three ball, glances off the front rim, loose on the floor. And it'll be Newcastle's ball with 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the third quarter, 24-9. Gering. Brandon Fry into the Newcastle lineup. He's got it. They give it up to Tidyman down low, stripped away by Zach Wilson. Gering with the ball. Radzimski ahead to Jack Franklin, drives left side, and then he's tied up on his way to the basket. And the possession arrow will give the ball to Newcastle. Not the prettiest of basketball here tonight at Gering High School by either team. Newcastle with the ball at their offensive end. Fry has it to Proviance on the right side. He's picked up there by Radzimski. Radzimski tries to tip it away from behind into the hands of Tidyman. Tidyman pull-up jumper from 15 off the mark, and a foul on the rebound underneath the basket as the foul was on Jack Franklin. Third team foul on Gering, second on Jack as Newcastle inbounds as they try to get it to Tidyman, and Radzimski jumped up, hit it, and knocked it back off of Proviance. And it'll be Gering's ball with 2:07 left in the third quarter, and Gering leading it 24-9. Sherrill has it, pull up, three ball on the way, front iron. Rebound comes down to Engel, stolen back away by Bryce. Bryce tries to the basket, and he's fouled on the drive to the basket by Engel. So Bryce will go to the free throw line. Peyton Engel, the 5'9" freshman, with his first personal foul, and Bryce Sherrill, who had scoreless in the first half, he has 4 here in the third quarter. As he comes up just a little bit short, a lot of stuff coming off the front rim for Gering tonight. Riley Goodrow back into the game. Went out in that end of the first quarter with that ankle injury, but he back in the ball game for Gering as Bryce can't hit on the second free throw, and Newcastle comes down with the rebound. Tidyman will bring it into the front court for the Doggies. On the dribble, picked up by Radzimski. Quickly to Engel. As Engel works it to the right side, picked up there by Radzimski. They try to whip a pass in the corner to Proviance, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll remain with Newcastle at their end. And here's Cole Nevers back into the Gering lineup for Brett Pazanka. And Newcastle will inbound far sideline at their end. Quickly into Proviance. To Tidyman, right side, outside, holds the ball. Top of the key to Roberson. Left side, here's Engel with it. As they work it on the outside, they go inside to Roberson against Wilson. Turnaround jumper off the mark. Rebound finally corralled by Goodrow. Gives it up to Ebers, right side to Sherrill. Pull up inside the arc. Off no good. Rebound by Goodrow. He can't score it. Rebound comes down to Tidyman, then he's fouled as he comes up the floor by Zach Wilson. That'll be the second on Zach, fourth team on Gering. 1:13 left third quarter, 24-9. Gering leads it. Engel with it, right side outside for Newcastle. It's hounded by Radzimski, and then Radzimski tips the pass out of bounds. Good defense by Brady. So Newcastle will inbound far sideline once again, looking, they get it in to Fry. Fry has it right side to Engel. Engel puts it on the floor, stripped away, picked up by Gering. Sherrill ahead to Radzimski, back to Bryce. Sherrill, reverse layup, misses the mark. Rebound by Goodrow into the hands of Zach Wilson, and Zach puts it up and in. Wilson with his first 2 points of the game. Gering 26-9, 45 seconds left third quarter. Roberson in the right corner for Newcastle. Bring it out. Engel quickly. They try to go inside to Roberson, and it's knocked away, but Zach Wilson will pick up his third personal foul. And the 15th foul on Gering, so Newcastle will inbound at their offensive end. Noah Longoria into the Gering lineup for Zach Wilson. So Roberson will inbound baseline right for Newcastle. Holding the ball above his head, lob it out on top to Tystad, who's checked into the Newcastle lineup. Deep three by Purviance, back iron. Radzimski corrals it ahead to Evers. Evers at the left side, now to the free throw line right side. Kick out Longoria quickly to Sherrill. Three ball, count it. Bryce Sherrill, his first three of the game. He's got 7. Gering by 20, 29-9. 12 seconds left, third quarter. Roberson on the dribble, picked up by Longoria. Here's Purviance, high post Roberson. Tidyman with it. He'll put up a three at the buzzer, off the mark, and that ends the third quarter. After three, your score, Gering 29, Newcastle 9 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back for the fourth quarter here at Gering High School, a low-scoring contest, but Gering leads it by 9, 29-9. And they'll have the ball to start the first quarter. We've got some wholesale substitutions to tell you about. Longoria into the game, along with Hunter Walker, and Riley Hoke for Gering, along with Riley Goodrow. Noah Longoria with it, bounce down low. Riley Hoke drives to the basket. Shot doesn't go, but Riley draws the foul. Riley Hoke with 6 points last night in the win over Sydney, as everybody in a Gering uniform got into that contest last night, as Riley bounces the first one through. Riley bends the knee. Second one comes up just a little bit short. The rebound comes down to Newcastle. Into the hands of Tidyman. Picked up by Longoria in the backcourt, and Noah commits the personal foul. And the 16th foul on Gering, first on Noah. So inbounded for Newcastle. They throw it backcourt to Tidyman. Brings it into the front court, picked up there by Longoria. Gets a high screen, still on the dribble. Back to Tidyman off the pass from Fry. And Tidyman scores the basket, and they counted as he was fouled. as the foul was on Riley Goodrow. And Dylan Tidyman with only 6 points in the game. Converts on the traditional three-point play. He's got 7, 30-12. Pressure by Newcastle in the backcourt as Hunter Walker fouled by Tidyman as they come up the floor. And now we'll see the starting 5 put back in for Gering as we've got a timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it right here. Stay with us. We'll have our Runs of Post-Game show. Give you the final numbers brought to you by Arby's the Meat Crafters. And give you our Taco John's player of the game. And this one is Gering, if things stay true to form, should get their 4th win of the season and 2-0 on the weekend for Gering. As Ebers, Pazanka, Sherrill, Franklin, and Ray on the floor for Gering out of the 30-second timeout. And they had originally put 60 seconds up on the clock. The official signal 30. But it was a 30-second timeout as Gering inbounds. Pressure by Newcastle. Pazanka with the ball, dribbles into the Gering offensive end and hands it to Bryce Sherrill. Bryce quickly into the corner. Pazanka 3-ball off the side iron, and a whistle and a foul away from the ball on the rebound. Pushing foul down low. So Gering will inbound at their offensive end as the foul was on. Dylan Tidyman picks up his 4th personal foul. Gering has it, Franklin with it. Turner Ray, 3-ball on the way, too strong. Long rebound run down by Tystad. They'll get into the hands of Dylan Tidyman. Tidyman pull-up jumper, top of the key for 3, misses the mark. Ebers comes down with the rebound. Gering leads it by 18, 30-12. Ebers dribble drive, lost the handle, loose ball picked up by Newcastle. Head to Tidyman on the run out, tried to go with the fancy reverse layup, misses the mark. Rebound knocked around, and we'll have a foul. As both teams coming up the floor. And the foul on Gering's Bryce Sherrill. That'll be his 3rd, 8th team foul on Gering. So that'll put Tate Ningle at the free throw line, a 5'9" freshman. Misses the front end as Sherrill skies high for the rebound. Outlet to Pazanka, ahead Ebers. Ebers drives left side of the basket, won't roll in. Jack Franklin with the rebound, back out. Ebers to the basket, second try doesn't go. But Colton fouled on the shot, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And Ebers, who had 17 points last night. Has 7 here tonight as he misses the first free throw. Came into tonight's action shooting 69% from the free throw line. Second one on the way as Ebers finds the mark on that one. He's got 8. And Gering on top, 31-12. As Cooper Devereaux back into the Newcastle lineup. He'll bring it into the front court, take it on the dribble of the right side. Pick up his dribble, now whip it inside. Tidyman starts a drive, got too far, kicks it out to Roberson. 3-ball misses everything, and the rebound can't be corralled by Fry. And it'll be Gering's ball with 6:24 left as Caleb Gonzalez checks back into the Bulldog lineup for Jack Franklin. A low-scoring game here tonight from Gering High School. Gonzalez into the front court for Gering, right side to Ebers, back to Gonzalez. They try to go down low to Turner Ray, stolen away by Purviance. Devereaux into the front court on the dribble, takes it top of the key, avoids the double team to Roberson on the right side. Roberson pulls it out by the sideline, tries to get it inside to Tidyman, and Tidyman knocked to the floor as he took the pass. And the foul, I believe, on Brett Pazanka. That'll be Brett's first, 9th team foul on Gering. As Dylan Tidyman, who came into this action averaging 24 points a game, held to 7 points to this point in the ball game. Held scoreless in the second quarter, and the left-hander's first free throw in and out. Rebound comes down to Gering. Pazanka into the front court to Ray. Back to Pazanka to Gonzalez. Bounce down low. Ebers kick out. Pazanka 3-ball on the way. Count it. Brett Pazanka with a dozen points here tonight. Gering 34-12, and as the teams come up the floor, a whistle and a foul. And the foul was on Caleb Gonzalez. And for Caleb, that'll be his 4th, and now Newcastle in the double bonus. 10th team foul on Gering. 5:43 left in the game. 34-12. Now make it 34-13. As Tidyman hits that one, he's got 8. Second free throw off, no good, as Turner Ray pulls it down with 2 hands on the rebound, and Gering will have it. Pazanka trying to avoid the double team, gets to Gonzalez, down low. Evers spin move in the paint, no look pass. Sherrill puts up a shot, doesn't go, but Bryce draws the foul. And that'll put Bryce Sherrill at the free throw line with 5.5 minutes left here in the game. 34-13. Gering on top. They led 10-4 after one, 18-6 at halftime, and by 20 at the end of 3. Bryce true on the first one. All of his points have come in the second half here this evening. Second one on the way. That one's up and good. Bryce Sherrill with 9. Gering 36-13 here in the fourth quarter. Tidyman, turnaround jumper off the mark as check that as Fry comes down with the rebound. His putback doesn't go, but he was fouled on the shot attempt by Turner Ray. And that'll be the 3rd on Ray. So Braden Fry at the free throw line for Newcastle. 2 shots. Drain that one, his first points of the game. Fry 50% from the line coming in tonight's game, 2 for 4. And the second one rolls around, won't go, and another rebound for Turner Ray. Ray will hand it to Pazanka. Brett will bring it into the front court for Gering to avoid the double team. To Gonzalez, left side. Whip it down low, baseline Evers. Evers will pull it out now. Gering will reset the offense. Pazanka holds it on his hip, finds Gonzalez. Caleb on the dribble, one-hand pass to Sherrill. Right side beyond the arc, picked up there by Tidyman. Back outside to Evers. He calls out play number 2. Turner Ray pops out high post. One-hand pass to Sherrill, knocked away. Loose ball picked up. Long down court pass. Tidyman, a reverse layup, doesn't go again on the run out. Gonzalez comes down with the rebound ahead to Pazanka. Off the glass and in for Brett Pazanka. 14 for him. Gering 38-14. Devereaux almost lost the handle, finds Tidyman. 15-foot turnaround jumper off the mark. Rebound loose on the floor. And the held ball, and we'll keep it at the Newcastle end with 4:26 left in the game. 38-14. Gering on top. And the law firm of Engel and Engel checking in. Landon and Tayton. Tayton a freshman, Landon a junior. And on the Gering side, bring Noah Longoria in for Brett Pazanka. Brett leading all Gering scores with 14 points in this one. As the inbounds pass thrown away, loose, Longoria on the run out, and Noah lays it up and in. His first points of the game. Gering blowing it open here in the fourth quarter, 40-14. On the dribble is Fry. Whips it inside Roberson in the paint. Try to get it to Engel. Pass knocked away. Evers on the loose ball. On the run out. Goes up and under with the right hand. Colton Evers. 10 for Colton. 42-14. Gering has it wide open here in the fourth quarter. Fry takes it to the right side. Quickly to the left side. Engel holds it. One dribble, now back out on top. 2-3 zone by Gering. No look pass inside to Engel. Pass intercepted as the pass trying to get to Roberson. As Ebers got a hand in there. As Sam Rushlow checks into the Gering lineup for Turner Ray. 3:33 left in the game. 42-14. As I said, in a win, the lowest scoring that they had held the team to was 37. This could set a new record here as Newcastle setting on 14 here with 3:29 left in the game. Newcastle with the ball. Fry holds it. Now on the dribble, finds Engel on the right side. Tidyman holds it top of the key between the circles. On the left-handed dribble. Looks, tries to go down low to Engel as Bryce Sherrill got a hand in there for Gering. Bryce on the bounce to Gonzalez. Longoria, baseline jumper, misses the mark. Rebound tipped around. Tidyman comes up with it. Up the left side, he'll go to the basket. Off balance shot, misses the mark. Engel rebound. Back to Fry. Fry throws up a shot and misses the mark. Gonzalez comes down with the rebound. Gonzalez center court, right side pass. Ebers to the basket and Colton puts it up and in. Ebers with a dozen. And Gering by 30 points, 44-14, 2 minutes, 34 seconds left in the game. Engel on the dribble out front, picks up his dribble. As Fry has it. Works it, now they get it to Tidyman as he goes to the basket. He's fouled on his way to the basket by Gering Sam Rushlow. As Gering has opened up a 30-point lead here. And Tidyman will go to the free throw line. Sam Rushlow, his first personal foul, and we'll have a wholesale substitution. Tidyman with his first free throw up and good. As Jack Franklin, Hunter Walker, Brady Radzimski, Riley Hoke into the Gering lineup along with Sam Rushlow. And I think for the second night in a row, everyone in the Gering uniform has gotten to see action again tonight. Tidyman's second free throw from the left-hander is up and good. He's got 10. And it's 44-16. Substitution on the Newcastle side is Purviance back in. Newcastle will set up full court pressure. Franklin to trigger the inbound. Get it into Radzimski. Brady up the far sideline, picked up by Tidyman into the offensive end. Franklin with it, whip it down low. Hoke tried the no-look pass to Hunter Walker. Too low for Hunter to handle. And the turnover gives the ball back to Newcastle. Trailing by 28 points. Tidyman into the front court on the dribble. Big Euro step into the paint. Off balance shot off the mark. So once again, he's fouled on his way to the basket. And he'll get 2 shots here. So Gering will get the win here this evening. And they will go on the road next Friday to Gordon, Nebraska to take on Gordon Rushville. Sam Rushlow picks up his second personal foul. As the free throw up and good by Tidyman, averaging 24 points a game. He's got 11 here so far in the game. The second one on the way. Good from the free throw line is Tidyman. 44-18, full court pressure from Newcastle. They get it into Riley Hoke, back to Franklin. Jack will give it up to Radzimski as we're underneath the 2-minute mark here in the game. On the bounce to Hoke. They try to bounce it to Rushlow. It's knocked away. Last touch by Gering. It'll be Newcastle's ball here with 1:52 left in the game. Stay with us. We'll have our Runs of Post-Game show and our Taco John's Player of the Game, and our final numbers brought to you by Arby's. Newcastle goes inside to Fry to the basket. Shot off the mark. And now it's become a free throw contest down the stretch here as Newcastle in the double bonus. And that'll put Braden Fry at the free throw line. As Sam Rushlow picks up his 3rd personal foul. As that shot, first free throw off, no good. Here's Zach Wilson into the Gering lineup for Sam Rushlow. Sam will sit down with those 3 personal fouls here with 1:41 left in the game. Second one on the way, off, no good by Fry. Walker comes down with the rebound, stripped away from him. Newcastle controls, driving to the basket, putting up a shot, and putting in a shot is Cooper Devereaux. His first points of the game, 44-20 Gering. Radzimski ahead to Walker down low. They try to get it to Zach Wilson, and it's knocked out of his hands. Keep it at the Gering end with 1:26 left in the game. Radzimski to trigger the inbound. Underneath the Gering basket, lob it out on top. Hunter Walker has it. Walker drives, gives it up to Franklin. Back outside to Radzimski. Here's Jack Franklin with it, right side outside. Top of the key to Hoke. Quickly to Hunter Walker on the left side. Dishes to Franklin. Back to Zach Wilson. Wilson starts a drive, cut off. Work it quickly to Franklin. 3 ball, too strong. Rebound battle for, picked up by Engel as he loses the handle, then regains. And a foul called with 1:01 left in the game. Radzimski with his 2nd personal foul. And we walk to the Newcastle end for free throws here tonight. As Landon Engel at the line. First one drops through for the 5'11 junior. (44-21). Second one on the way, high off the back iron. Rebound tipped around. It goes out of bounds. Keep it at the Newcastle end with 1 minute left in the game. So Gering will go to 4-9 on the year. And on the road next week to Gordon Rushville. Engel looking on the inbounds. They give it to Purviance, his drive to the basket. He's fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. And the clock did not move, still at a minute. Zach Purviance at the free throw line. First one on the way, that one will bounce around, will not bounce in. And Sam Rushlow will come out of the lineup, come into the lineup, I should say, for Zach Wilson. As Purviance, 2nd free throw on the way, that one off the mark. Hunter Walker comes down with the rebound, gets the ball ahead, but the pass, Aaron, stolen away. Purviance still controlling, he'll put up a shot, won't be able to score it as Riley Hoke comes down with the rebound. Riley on the push, loses his balance, and he's fouled. As Riley getting up ahead of steam. And the 7th team foul on Newcastle, so Gering in the 1-1. Tate Engel with his 3rd personal foul. As Riley's first front end, in and out, no good. Rebound tipped around. Engel picks it up. 48 seconds left in the game as Engel goes behind his back on the trip up the floor, picks up his dribble, gets it off to Landon Engel, and he looks down low for someone. No one's there, but Gering touched it last, so quickly Newcastle inbounds it. Devereaux with it. He'll bring it top of the key. Now take it inside, give it up to Engel. Turn around against Rushlow. off the mark. Rebound tipped around. Purviance with the runner in the paint. Sam pulls down the rebound. Outlet pass thrown away, but Radzimski picks it up. 20 seconds left. Radzimski into the front court for Gering. Finds Franklin. 13 seconds left. Back to Radzimski. Here's Hunter Walker with it on the right side. Gering's going to run it out. They're going to get their 4th win of the year as Radzimski holds it, and the clock runs out, and Gering gets the win here this afternoon by a final score of 44-21. Gering 4-9 on the year, and with the loss, Newcastle drops to 1-5. We'll come back with the post-game show, but once again, your final score: Gering 44, Newcastle 21 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back to Gering High School. The boys game is in the books, and the Gering boys go 2-0 on the weekend as they defeat Newcastle here tonight at home. 44-21 is your final score, and so for Gering, they go to 4-9 on the season, and Newcastle drops to 1-4. You'd have to say this is a pretty sloppily played basketball game here tonight. Not a lot of scoring. Gering led it 10-4 at the end of the first quarter, and Gering opened up a 10-point lead in the second quarter, and outscoring Newcastle in the second quarter 8-2 to lead 18-6 at halftime. After 3, Gering opened up a 20-point lead at 29-9. And into the fourth quarter, Gering kind of blew things open as we got farther along in the fourth quarter. They opened up a lead by as many as 30 at 44-14 at one point. But down the stretch, Newcastle with 7 points to kind of go on a mini 7-0 run. Most of that came from the free throw line for Newcastle, but only 21 points scored by Newcastle here tonight. And I said at the start of the game, the 37 points that Gering held Sydney to last night was the least amount of points Gering had held an opponent to in a win. That goes by the wayside as they hold Newcastle to 21 points here tonight as they get the 44-21 win. So we'll come back and give you the individual scoring totals as the post-game show is catered by Runza Restaurants, proud sponsor of Gering High School. Runza makes it all better. Your final score, Gering 44, Newcastle 21 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back here on the Runs of Post-Game show as Gering gets the 44-21 win over Newcastle. And it's time to look at the numbers brought to you by Arby's, the meat crafters throughout western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. First off, for Newcastle, leading the way for Newcastle tonight, Dylan Tidyman, who came into tonight's action scoring 24 points a game. He's held to half that as he finishes the game with 12. Had only 4 points at the end of the first quarter. That was all of the points that Newcastle scored in the first quarter. He was held scoreless in the second and third quarters, but goes off for 8 points in the fourth and final quarter. All of that coming from the free throw line as Dylan Tidyman ends the game with 12 points, the only Newcastle player in double figures here this evening. Zach Purviance finished up with 5 points, 2 points for Cooper Devereaux, and 1 point each for Landon Engel and Brandon Fry for Newcastle here tonight as they are held to 21 points in the contest. 2 players in double figures for Gering tonight, leading the way, Brett Pazanka with 14 points. Brett had 6 in the first quarter, held scoreless in the second and third. He comes back with 8 points in the fourth quarter for his 14 points. And right behind him in double figures tonight, Colton Ebers, as Colton ends the night with 12 points. 9 points tonight for Bryce Sherrill, well below his average. Bryce held scoreless in the first half, came back with 7 points in the third quarter and another 2 in the fourth quarter as he finishes up with 9 here tonight. 2 points each for Jack Franklin, Zach Wilson, and Noah Longoria and Sam Rushelo, who came off the bench with 2 points. And 1 point tonight for Riley Hoke, as once again everyone in a Gering uniform got a chance to see action here tonight at home as they did last night on the road against Sydney. We'll come back and name our Taco John's player of the game, but once again, your final score, it was Gering 44, Newcastle 21 on the West Coast scoreboard. Back here on the Runs of Post-Game show, Gering gets the win. They're fourth on the year, 44-21 over Newcastle. And head coach Kyle Cotton making his way towards us, so we'll give him the mic and get some post-game comments from him. 2-0 on the weekend. How good does that feel?
Well, the 2-0 feels really good. This game was not pretty, to say the least. But defensively, we stepped up. We did what we wanted to do. And anytime you can hold a team under 40, I mean, we held them to 21. It's a great thing. But offensively, we really struggled to do much of anything. We didn't shoot the ball well. Free throws, I think we were 9 of 22. We have to be better as the season goes along.
What do you think was the reason for your slow start? And really, as you said, this was not pretty basketball here tonight.
Well, I think it was a combination of how we played last night. You know, we played really well last night, so that you're always going to have a little bit of a letdown. But I thought the way Newcastle was playing the game, they slowed it down on offense and really made us work on defense. But then when we got it on offense, we just tried to make up for that lost time and got into way too big of a hurry early on. But we settled down, and we just we didn't make wide open shots when we had them. And I mean, that's a key to any game.
The one kid that you were worried about, Dylan Tidyman, we talked about him last night. I think you brought him up in the pregame. He scores all of their points in the first quarter, and then you held him down in the second and third quarters.
Yeah, he's a really good player, so our focus was on him. I thought we did a good job on everyone, though, and really limited him. I mean, he's averaging 24 a game, so to hold him to 12 or 10 or whatever he had, it was a great team effort. And I can't say enough about the defense, but we got to be better on offense if we're going to get to where we want to get.
Where do you think the breakdown was in offense from last night to tonight?
I didn't feel like we moved the ball as well as a team, but we just didn't shoot the ball nearly as well either. We got a lot of shots in close and just didn't convert. And then when we got to the line, we didn't convert either. So, they were empty possessions that we have to take care of. But, it's been a long season. We played 13 games already. So we just got to make sure that we continue to work this whole next week. We have 4 practices at least. So, we just got to make sure that we're focused on what we can get better at and just keep working.
I talked to Rick Winkler at halftime of your game, wrapping up the girls' game, and this has got to be good for you that you've got a week of practice. You only play once next week, then you've got some more time off before you play again. Talk about how maybe that works to your advantage. What kind of things do you work on now that you've got more time to maybe, get some more things in?
Well, like I told you last night, we had 4 days of practice this week, so we were able to introduce a couple new things. So that's our plan, is to continue to get all of our stuff in. All of us being new to each other, it's been kind of difficult to get everything in. So we're just going to continue to do that, try to refine some of the stuff we've been working on already, and just get ready for these next few weeks.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you stopping by. 2-0 on the weekend. As you said, it wasn't pretty basketball, but it's still to show up in the win column tonight.
Yep.
All right, Kyle Cotton joins us here on our Runs the Post game show as Gering gets a 44-21 win over Newcastle. Well, now time to name our Taco John's player of the game, and the top player of the game brought to you by Taco John's of Scottsbluff and Gering. Make Taco John's a game day tradition by unwrapping the original before or after every game. And our Taco John's player of the game tonight, Brett Pazanka, as Brett finishes the game with 14 points, 6 in the first quarter. He comes up with 8 in the final 8 minutes as he finishes with 14 points. Let's take our final break. We'll come back, wrap things up from Gering High School as the Gering boys go to 4-9 on the season as they get a 44-21 win over Newcastle on the West Coast scoreboard. And back here at Gering High School, a boy-girl winner here today as the girls get a big win over Newcastle by a final score of 56-44. The Gering girls now 3-11 on the year, and the Gering boys move to 4-9 on the year. They're 2-0 on the weekend as they defeat Newcastle 44-21. So that'll wrap things up here from Gering High School. I'd like to thank the KNEB.TV crew that was on hand here this afternoon bringing this action to you. And thanks to Vince back at the KNEB studios. Did a great job as we got this game on the air for you here this afternoon and evening from Gering High School. So we'll talk to you next Friday night from Gordon, Nebraska. But until then, I'm Jeff Kelly. Good night from Gering High School. Bye.